in Portland, Maine, where it is now officially Red Sox country. The Portland Sea Dogs, now the AA affiliate of the Boston Red Sox.
We want to do our part to help destroy the curse of the Bambino.
There's 1.35 million people in the state of Maine. I think there might have been a Yankee fan, but we ran him out of town a couple of years ago. So, you know, there's a lot of enthusiasm for the Red Sox up here, and it's great, great news for the organization.
Live from Hadlock Field in Portland, Maine, NESN presents exclusive coverage of Portland Sea Dogs baseball. Tonight, the Sea Dogs host the New York Mets AA ball club, the Binghamton Mets. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the ballpark. I'm Bob Rogers alongside Bob Tewksbury. And Bob, officially now, the Sea Dogs, a member of the Red Sox family, and this city is excited.
They indeed are. It has been a long winter. It's been a lot of snow in New England, and the people in Portland have been dying for the Red Sox to come. The Red Sox are here, and opening day is finally here in Portland.
Everywhere you go in Portland, they're talking about the Sea Dogs, especially now because they're part of the Red Sox. They've waited, though, 4 times. The home opener has been snowed out.
Snowed out 4 straight days at the start of the year. I was here that first night. It was beastly. The people who are diehard fans are waiting here tonight, finally starting to get ready for some Red Sox affiliation here in Maine with the Sea Dogs.
So what do you do if you're the manager? Ron Johnson has had his hands full trying to keep his team interested, and he's also had to get quite creative.
Second base, number 9, Daniel Garcia.
I tell you what, you can only do so much. You go inside as much as you can. You try to keep the spirits up. You try to explain to them that this is not a permanent situation, and it's going to come around. And we got through that, But these guys are professionals, and they have a goal, and that's to try to get to the big leagues. So when the motivation factor when they go out in the field, you don't have to worry too much about that. They're going to go out and do the best they can.
And they will do the best they can tonight at Hadlock Field. They are introducing the Mets as we speak. We'll take a quick break, come back. We'll have the opening ceremonies, the introductions of your Portland Sea Dogs, a AA affiliate of the Boston Red Sox, next on NESN. Boston Red Sox, time now for the introductions of the Portland Sea Dogs. Let's head down to the field, and Dean Rogers, the public address announcer.
First, the most recognizable Sea Dog, a Hadlock Field fixture for 10 years. He's rowdy, he's excited, he's fresh from spring training. Wearing the number 1, Portland's own Slugger, the Sea Dog. And ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, please welcome the new Sea Dogs manager, wearing number 40, Ron Johnson. Pitching coach in the bullpen, number 16, Bob Kipper. Hitting coach, number 31, Mark Gudaska. Trainer, B.J. Jacquette. Assistant athletic trainer, Matt Lewis. And now your starting lineup, leading off, playing shortstop, number 18, Nelson Castro. Batting second and playing second, number 3, Carlos Leon. Number 36, batting third and playing third, Kevin Youkilis. Batting fourth, the first baseman, number 22, Justin Headley. Batting fifth, the right fielder, number 13, Justin Sherrod. Batting sixth and doing the catching, number 38, Andy Dominique. Playing left field and batting seventh, number 14, T. Brown. Batting eighth, the designated hitter, number 29, Dustin Brisson. The designated hitter batting eighth, number 25, Brian Lloyd. Batting ninth, the center fielder, number 11, Jeremy Owens. And warming up in the bullpen, tonight's starting pitcher, number 32, Junior Herndon. And now your 2003 Sea Dogs pitching staff, number 15, Brian Adams. Number 23, Jake Chapman. Number 39, Jorge De La Rosa. Number 37, Eric Glazier. Number 10, James Johnson. Number 24, Tim Kester. Number 35, Anastasio Martinez. Number 30, Greg Montalbano. Number 26, Josh Stevens. Number 20, Felix Villegas. Number 17, Charlie Weatherby. And the rest of you Portland Sea Dogs, number 33, also a catcher, John Nathans. Infielder number 12, Raul Nieves. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, your 2003 Portland Sea Dogs. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, as we gather today for the start of the 2003 Portland Sea Dogs season, we'd like to pause for a moment to remember a baseball legend. On Wednesday, March 19th, former Eastern League owner and Salt Lake Stingers owner and president Joe Buzis passed away at the age of 84. He lived his entire life in baseball, having been a player, manager, or owner for more than 60 years. In 47 years as an owner, he operated 82 minor league franchises, rising to legendary status in the sport. Buzis began his ownership career in the Eastern League, purchasing the Allentown Red Sox in 1956. The team eventually moved to its current location, New Britain, Connecticut, in 1983. And he remained the owner of the Rockcats until selling the team to the current ownership in 2000. Buzis was also the owner of the Reading Phillies from 1977 to 1986 and was enshrined in the Reading Baseball Hall of Fame in 1987. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your caps to offer a moment of silence for Joe Buzis. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, before we begin today's game, we'd like to take a moment to remember the troops who are away from home at this time. In support of our troops, please join Anthony Aceto, a senior at Sheriff's High School, in singing God Bless America. Anthony will be attending St. Michael's in the fall. He's on the Sheriff's hockey team and a member of the Key Club. We support our troops and wish them a safe and quick return home. Ladies and gentlemen, Anthony Aceto.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the ocean, white with foam.
National anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Beautiful rendition of God Bless America and the national anthem. And Tukes, just so impressed with this facility. They are trying to emulate Fenway Park as much as they can. They got the green monster out and left the screen as well. They need seats above the monster now.
I was just thinking of that during the anthem, Bob. Is when if they're going to start putting seats up there. You can say tonight, though, that the ball's into the net.
Right.
Can't say that. Donnie and Jerry can't say that.
Can't say it anymore at Fenway Park, but really a beautiful facility, and all of these fans are so excited to have the Red Sox as part of the family. I think part of the fun when you go to a Pawtucket Red Sox game or now a Portland Sea Dogs game is that you can say, I watched these guys when they were in the minors. They worked their way up. They get to Fenway Park. That makes it all the more fun. And now, Tukes, we have an opportunity to watch the ceremonial first pitch. And I guess we have our first pitch of the home season at Headley Field.
There it is. I like the Red Sox, the new uniforms that the Red Sox are wearing. I've been to many Sea Dogs games when they were the Marlins affiliate in the teal and black. I have to say that it's pretty nice to see the red, white, and blue of the Red Sox here in May. And as you said earlier, you mentioned the fact that the fans in New England like to follow the players through the system. What a great opportunity within 2 hours of one another. Well, 2 hours south or an hour south of Boston, you can see the AAA team, and 2 hours north of Boston, you can come and see Portland. And it's a great opportunity for the Sox fans to follow the players all the way up.
And then, Tukes, once you get to single-A ball, once it starts in June, you'll have the Lowell Spinners as well. So you really can see the development of the organization. And with the way the Boston Red Sox are now constructed, we're going to be seeing that. This is going to try to be an organization that will develop their own players, not necessarily go out and sign a lot of free agents and make a lot of acquisitions from other ball clubs. They want to become a scouting machine, as Theo Epstein says.
You're right, and that's exactly what they're trying to do with the philosophy that they've put in place with regard to their hitters and their pitchers, with throwing strikes on the mound and working the count, and at the plate getting the counts in your favor, getting on base. And we'll see a young man tonight, Kevin Youkilis, who's off to a little bit of a slow start, although he's only played 4 games, who was in Lowell just 2 years ago, and he's now in Double-A, and he's following that program of on base because he's been so good at getting on base in his brief career in minor league baseball.
Well, this is a sellout tonight, Tukes, and there's still a few empty seats. What they actually did was the tickets that were originally scheduled for the original opener will be honored tonight, so they're curious to see how many of the folks will come out who had plans to go to the original opener. But a nice crowd already, as we're just about at game time here.
Indeed, it's a little brisk. The flags are blowing. One thing you come out and you look at as a pitcher, you just see which way is the wind blowing, and it's blowing out today. And the wall there, it says it's 315 down the line, but no one will ever know for sure, I think.
Well, do you think it's 315 or do you think it's less?
I think it's a little less. But
I don't know. It looks the wall looks bigger to me than the wall at Fenway, doesn't it?
It does, but it's not. I wasn't on the top of this one as we were the other night at Fenway, but I think it's because the surroundings at this ballpark are much different, obviously, than Fenway, but it's a nice ballpark. Headley Field is just the grass will green up soon. It's a great vacation spot for people to come up to the coast of Maine and enjoy a lot of Sea Dogs baseball this year. It's going to be a big hit of summer as a vacation spot.
Well, Tukes, I think that a lot of the folks from down in the Boston area will want to make that drive up. I was surprised just making the drive from Nesson this morning, from Nesson to Headley Field, under 2 hours. I don't know.
Drive.
Well, I don't know if the state troopers want to know that. No, but I was the speed limit the whole way, and it was a pretty.
It's very easy, and you're not far from the beaches here. It's a great spot to come up and support the Boston Red Sox new minor league affiliate here in Portland. And the people, as we said in the open, the people are just so excited. Everyone's got Red Sox hats on, and the red. They got the thunder sticks are here, and all kinds of things in red, and it's really nice to see.
It's interesting, too, because I had one of the season ticket holders stop me on my way in and said that they've been coming to Headley Field ever since the baseball was brought to this area, but it was starting to lose a little bit of its luster because you're watching the Florida Marlins. And, you know, for fans around here, they follow the Boston Red Sox. They want to see their players move up, and they do have a former Portland Sea Dog with the Boston Red Sox, Kevin Millar.
Right, and you know how exciting it is for the fans in Portland to see Kevin in a Red Sox uniform. He nearly won the Triple Crown here the year that he was here, and I'm sure that Kevin's a big hit now that he's almost back home. I'm sure the Portland fans feel like he's back home, being close and being in a Red Sox uniform.
And this is a new experience for just about every member of this Portland Sea Dogs team. The fact that a year ago at AA, the guys that were at AA, they were in Trenton. So here they come up to Portland, a new area that they visited as a visiting ball club, but now they're going to make their homes here for the summer, and I'm sure it takes a little getting used to.
It does, but I talked to the guys about that. They like this area. It's a nice town. There's lots to do here. The only thing that they don't like are the bus rides, and you know, that's inevitable in minor league. You're going to have some long rides, and the Portland connection is indeed a long one. Well, let's see. Is Portland the toughest bus ride? If you're in Portland, Maine, does that make it the toughest bus trip for most of these guys in this league? Well, you've got to go from Portland to Erie, and let me see, where else is down there? Altoona. There's you know, the ones to New Britain and Norwich, New Haven, those are manageable. In a couple of years, they'll be going to Manchester, New Hampshire, I believe, when the AA affiliate from New Haven moves to Manchester. But, you know, that's all part. You know, bus rides are fun. You break out, you get a cooler, and you break out the card game on top of a towel on the cooler, and you turn. One guy's sitting the wrong way all the time because he's kind of got his back to the seat in its proper fashion, and then they complain about their back hurting, and it's just fun. A lot of bantering going on. I got to tell you right now, manager Ron Johnson's going over the ground rules with the umpires, and I'm wondering, is he asking these guys or telling these guys, because this is going to be his first game as a home manager? Yeah, you know, knowing RJ, he's probably making them up. He probably is. When the ball's off the wall, we can play it. It's an out. It's an out. It's a wiffle ball field, and you guys can't. And you know, RJ's a hoot, as you met earlier today. Yeah, he really is. The guys love him. Yeah, that story was told to us about his visit to see Montalbano yesterday during the game was a classic one, and you know, but RJ's, I'm sure there's many things that they're going to need to learn in particular about this field now with the wall, and with that, it's playing it. It's a wood wall out there, Bobby, and it's finding the way that the ball's going to bounce off, and you really can't see it from here. A little bit to the left of the scoreboard is actually there's a little bit of an angle in there. You can see there's a crease, so it's going to deflect one way or the other. There's a good shot of it there from the side. So it'll be interesting to see how they play the wall. And here we go. The Portland Sea Dogs take the field here on Nesson for the first time, and we are just about ready for baseball here on Nesson. Let's give you the starting lineup for the Binghamton Mets. Leading off and playing center field, it's Jeff Duncan. Daniel Garcia bats second. He's playing second base. The number 3 hitter is Craig Brazile. He's playing first base. Ron Acuna, the cleanup hitter in right field. Pat DeShanes, the DH, bats next. Rodney Nye is at third base. Mike Jacobs behind the plate. Chris Basak is at short, and Marvin Seeley is in left field. And defensively for the Sea Dogs, in the outfield, Tanaim Brown's in left. Jeremy Owens is in center. Justin Sherrod in right. In the infield, around the horn is Kevin Youkilis at third. Nelson Castro's a shortstop. Carlos Leon's at second. Justin Headley is at first base. Andy Dominique is behind the plate. And on the mound today is Junior Herndon. This is Junior's first start in the Red Sox organization. He came over from San Diego. He appeared in 12 games with the Padres at the big league level in 2001. And last year pitched a no-hitter in the Pacific Coast League, playing for the other Portland team, the one on the far left side of the country. He features a fastball, curveball, and a slider, and he's going to be around 60 to 70 pitches tonight. As we mentioned, they're trying to, it's almost like an extended spring training. You got to build the innings. You have to do it all over again, right? Start over again. Well, here's the umpiring crew for tonight. They changed it just before game time. And in terms of the assignments, Kevin Causey will be behind the plate. Brett Persinger at first base and Adrian Johnson at third. And Tukes, we finally have clear skies. You see the nice blue skies, but it is a bit nippy out here. It's chilly. The best place to be right now is probably on the mound and behind the plate. And if you're an outfielder or an infielder, you want the balls hit in play so that you can run around a little bit. It's a good night for the pitchers. The pitchers definitely have an advantage on a night like this. They're the ones who are in motion and get the ball in on their hands, get a couple of bumblebees, and then you got them for the rest of the night. What do you know about doing that? Oh, come on now. I used to jam everybody.
Work away, work away, right?
79 miles an hour. Now, you got to use both sides of the plate, and that brings up a good point. Development. This is a AA level. This is developmental stages where they need to really refine their game, and one of those things in refinement would be for a pitcher to learn to use both sides of the plate, because you need to do that at the major league level.
Here we go, our first pitch of the night. High and away, ball one to the leadoff hitter for the Mets, Jeff Duncan, playing center field. He steps in at 250, has yet to hit a home run or drive in a run. Pulled in for a strike, 1-1. The Binghamton Mets have already played 7 games. They're 3-4. This is Portland's 5th game. They're 2-2. Up the middle, through into center field for a base hit. So the Mets get their leadoff man aboard. It's bobbled out in center field, and that'll cost the Sea Dogs an extra base as Duncan speeds into second.
Well, Duncan does have good speed to begin with, Bob. The ball out there in center field, Jeremy Owens is a terrific center fielder. He's probably rated one of the best center fielders in the Red Sox organization. And you see this ball takes a hop at the end. The grass out there, I'm sure it's a little rough from just the weather and the being on the field. And again, it's not being on this field to have any preparation and practice. It's very unusual to see that from such a good outfielder. And in that instance, the ball got him.
That's all you need, right? Your first game and the ball hits a clump and goes up. You got an error in your first game at home. Pitch in for a strike. So tell us again about Herndon, what he throws.
Junior has a fastball slider. He's fastball tails. He's got some movement on that. An off-speed pitch is more toward the curveball. Saw him pitch in spring training. He's got good velocity, good competitor.
In right center field, Owens back. It's over his head. That's going to score a run. Garcia into second base. He'll pull up with a double, and the Mets lead it 1-0.
Well, they seem to be picking on Jeremy Owens in center field. He is, as I said, a highly rated defensive outfielder who's coming off. They said he made 3 terrific catches yesterday. Today, that ball right there is a tough ball. Hit to his left. The angle on that probably wasn't the best he could have taken, and as a result, the ball goes over his head for another double.
Tell you what, for a second baseman, Garcia knows how to get the extra bases. That's his 4th double now. He also has a home run, so he has 5 extra bases already of his 10 hits. So a good start to the season for him, and that'll bring up the first baseman, Craig Brazile. And that one is spilled foul.
I'll tell you, even though that was a foul ball, you can see the distance, and that was not a very big swing. The fastball away off the end of the bat. They rate him as their best power hitting prospect in the organization from the left side. He does have some problems with plate discipline, though. He only had 14 walks last year and over 500 plate appearances.
Right, hitting 115 here in the early going. He's already struck out 9 times. And he'll send that one high in the air to center field. Jeremy Owens getting a lot of work. Garcia will tag and head to third, and he'll be in there.
Seems to be picking on Jeremy Day, huh? 3 balls in a row. Nice though. You saw that throw, though, how strong his arm was. Hit the cutoff man exactly what you're supposed to do. Got to do the little things well, and one of those little things is hit the cutoff man as an outfielder.
1 run in here in the top of the first inning for the Binghamton Mets. Junior Herndon has recorded his first out, and he will now face the right fielder, Ron Acuna. Down to first. And Justin Headley will stay at first, get the out, and the run will score.
Good piece of hitting right there. Talk about situational hitting with the infield back, man on third, less than 2 outs, put the ball in play. Base runner reacts on contact, not even really needing to go on contact because he's going to score anyway. If the infield was in, there'd be a better chance for a contact play. Headley had a thought about throwing.
Had an idea,
but that would be a bad idea. First play is to get an out. It's early in the game. Give up the run. Start anew right here.
Pat DeShanes takes that pitch just off the plate. 1-0. DeShanes stands in it. 333. Has an RBI. strike, 1-1. Shane's from Quebec City. Strike 2, 1-2.
Those last 3 pitches right there, Bobby, were as good as he's thrown the whole inning. He's getting the ball down in the zone.
And he swung and it hit him, so he is out. That's strike 3.
Oh.
So how about that? You get hit by the pitch, you swing at it, and it hits you, and you're out. Not a good way to start the night. But the Mets, a good way to start the night for them. It's 2-0 as we go to the bottom of the first.
For extra convenience, extra value, and extra service, stop at Extra Mart. When you're on the go, you need a little extra. Fuel up on Extra Mart's Deli Joe sandwiches, Brew Boy coffee, and more. For your car, Extra Mart offers the brands you know at competitive prices. To protect your lips from the unpredictable spring weather, Extra Mart offers a full line of chapstick products, America's favorite lip balm. With over 150 locations throughout New England, be smart. Shop Extra Mart.
On an all-new Monster Garage. Skateboard legend Tony Hawk and BMXer Rick Thorne drop by for the most extreme build yet, turning an RV into a mobile skate park.
55, you know, down a hill.
Are the crew's welding skills better than their skating? And what does Jesse think of Monster Air from the Monster Garage?
It's cool. I can dig the whole skate vibe.
Vert ramps to go on an all-new Monster Garage. Tonight at 8 Eastern and Pacific, only on the Discovery Channel.
Welcome back to Headley Field, where the Binghamton Mets have struck twice in the top of the first inning. It's 2-0. Here's the lineup for the Portland Sea Dogs. Leading off and playing shortstop, it's Nelson Castro. Carlos Leon bats second. He's a second baseman. Kevin Youkilis, one of the organization's top prospects. He bats third. He's playing third. Justin Headley's at first. He's your cleanup hitter. Justin Sherrod is in right field. Andy Dominique behind the plate. T. Brown in left field. Dustin Brisson is the TH, and Jeremy Owens in center field.
Defensively for the Binghamton Mets, Marvin Sealy in left, Jeff Duncan in center, Ron Acuna is in right, and from left to right in the infield, Rodney Nye at third, Chris Basak at shortstop, Danny Garcia at second, Greg Brazile at first, Mike Jacobs is behind the plate, and on the mound today for the Mets is Joe Cole. Joe's a big guy. First start of the season. His best pitch is his curveball. Those fastball curveball change, but he changes speeds on his curveball very well. And in the developmental part of the process here, he is here to work on his command of his fastball. Bobby Ojeda thinks that once he gets the command of his fastball to both sides of the plate, it'll make his curveball better and allow him to move up the levels ahead of him to get to the big leagues.
Well, you mentioned Bobby Ojeda, the former Red Sox pitcher, the pitching coach for the Mets at AA. The first pitch to Nelson Castro. Fastball high. It's 1-0. Castro hitting .263 through the first 4 games with a run batted in.
There's a big slow curveball.
Quickly behind in the count. It's 2-0. This is high. It's 3-0. Not even close.
They said Bobby Ojeda said that he likes to throw his curveball behind in the count, and generally he throws it for strikes. He happened to miss there.
4-pitch walk. So the Sea Dogs get their first base runner.
See if that leadoff walk comes back to haunt him. You know, it's one of those situations where they usually do, but you know, Joe warmed up, sat down for the bottom of the first. He's back out there again. It's going to take these guys a couple of hitters to get the feel for the mound and the conditions.
And that brings up the second baseman, Carlos Leon.
You see Carlos has got the little hood. A couple of players, I think Tunaim Brown has one, the little hood in the back that's
close over at first base.
Hood's going to keep him warm, hopefully, they think.
Well, Castro has a couple of stolen bases already, and so they're taking notice.
Well, it counts 3-0 at first base, too. You had your chance when he was up.
I'm going to throw a strike to him before we're done. He bluffs to steal. And again, the pitch is out of the zone. 5 straight out of the strike zone to start the game. Tukes, you guys, we've talked about it a lot during our Red Sox broadcasts about pitching in the cold weather. You say the pitchers have the advantage, but is it tougher for the pitcher to grip the ball in this instance and find the strike zone?
No, that's when you go to the bat rack and borrow the pine tar that the batters use, and you get a wonderful grip with the pine tar.
Isn't that cheating?
Is that? No, it's enhancing your grip.
Enhancing your advantage?
Right, enhancing. The hitters use it. Why can't we? You put a little on your string of your glove and...
Cole throws his first strike of the night. It's 1-1.
Cheating would be to doctor the ball in a way that it would make it move in an uncharacteristic fashion. Pine tar will allow you to grip the ball.
But so much is said, Tukes, that you have the advantage against the hitters in this cold weather. The hitters don't like to hit in the cold, and that pitch is well out of the zone again. But it seems like Cole's having a hard time early here to find the zone. Is it tougher for him to find the strike zone in this kind of weather?
It very well could be. His first start of the year. I'm sure that he's been delayed as well with the weather that's hit upon the East Coast up here early in the baseball season. So who knows how much work he got in prior to today's game, and the weather definitely is a factor.
Castro's off, got a great jump down to second base, not even close. Wow, what a jump. And the pitch was out of the strike zone again. It's 3-1.
Again, it's behind in the count, breaking ball. Great jump.
No chance for Mike Jacobs behind the plate to throw him out.
He had thrown over to first so many times that as a base runner, you're getting to see all his moves right out of the go. The first inning, the first 3, he didn't even throw a pitch to Leon, and he threw 3 pickoff attempts to first. You give the base runner and the dugout a chance to see all of them right out of the chute.
So here we go, back-to-back walks to start the game for Joe. Don't call me Joey Cole. Actually, I heard he likes to be called Joey, and you call him Joe.
Oh, well.
That's okay. He's a visitor.
Joe better start to find the strike zone, or
he's looking like a very ordinary Joe right now. Breaking ball finds the strike zone. It's 0-1.
Just one of the reasons he may have been throwing to first so much too, Bobby, is the fact that he is not loose, and the more throws to first to try to get a little bit of a better feel.
Kevin Youkilis is Mr. On-base percentage. You mentioned off the top that he's off to kind of a slow start. It's only been 4 games, so it's a little bit early to be making any kind of assessment, but they're very impressed with him through the organization, too, because they think that his arrival at Fenway Park could be sometime in the next couple of seasons, I would think.
They do. He's went to the Fall League last year. He's made the quick rise. He was in Lowell 2 years ago, Trenton last year. Now he's in Double-A starting again.
Skies one on the infield. The infield fly rule will be called, and Youkilis is out.
He noted that the slow start, but what was uncharacteristic in those numbers is Youkilis has only walked once and had 6 strikeouts. Generally, that would be the other way around. And I talked to him before the game today, and he just said that, the time off really hurt him. It hurt his timing and his approach, and he's generally not behind in the count, having to swing at pitches out of the zone as the last one.
Right, he was named Trenton's minor league player of the year. He hit .344, and he also had a .462 on base percentage. Brings up the first baseman, Justin Headley, and again, Cole misses.
Justin's he was 6 for 10 in the last series. I like this guy's swing a lot. 3 years of independent league baseball before he finally got an affiliated job. Got great balance at the plate.
Ball up in the zone again from Cole. It's 2-0.
Everything's quiet. It's fairly still.
Curveball looked like it was inside. They call it a strike. It's 2-1. The crowd doesn't like it. It's almost like Fenway.
Interesting to see.
It's not just the wall.
Yeah, that ball is inside, I believe. And again, it shows how Cole has confidence in his curveball because he's throwing it 2-0.
Can't find the zone with much of what he's throwing right now, so you may as well experiment a little bit. There's the curveball again. The runners go, and again, it's not close. Nelson Castro leading the way, and on the back end, Leone moves into second base.
Ron Johnson is an aggressive manager, and you get guys on the base paths like Castro and Leone. Easiest space to steal is third. They had the green light, and that was a piece of cake. He had 2 steps before Cole had even turned to throw a ball to the mound, to the plate, excuse me.
Mets manager John Stearns will play the infield back. He'll give up the run in exchange for the out. Headley sends one to center field. Duncan is under it. That will score the run easily. And on the play as well, Leone moves to third. So the Portland Sea Dogs have scored their first run of the season at home.
Good piece of situational hitting there by Justin. Second and third, 1 out. You need a fly ball or a ground ball, and they work on that. That's one of the things in the pregame routine. They have situations, man on first, man on second, infield in, infield back, 2 outs, 2-strike approach. They work on that a lot. Mark Budaska, the hitting coach, has spent a lot of time, or Franchuk, the minor league hitting coordinator, implementing the philosophy of on base and situations.
Right fielder Justin Sherrod takes that one out of the zone. It's 1-0. Well, you talked about that, Tukes, during one of our recent broadcasts as well, the fact that it's going to be something they're going to preach in the organization top to bottom about not just getting guys on base. On base percentage is big, but it doesn't do you a lot of good if you don't get them in. So they work on that as an organization, that when you get them on, got to get them over and then get them in.
Well, that's it right there. There's 3 situations as a hitter. Get on, get them over, get them in. You as a hitter will fall into one of those 3 categories whenever you're up at the plate, and the players are not going to move through this organization if they do not follow the program and have an on-base percentage like they're trying to instill here.
Right now, Joey Cole just does not have good command of the strike zone. In his first outing of the season, in a relief performance in 3 innings, he did not walk a batter. He's been behind just about everyone here tonight.
Again, another breaking ball behind in the count. As a developmental product, usually that's what you're trying to teach people, to throw something off speed behind in the count. He's got that, but he's got to command his fastball.
Count hangs at 2-2. Sherrod takes the breaking ball low and inside. It's 3-2. Andy Dominique, the catcher, waits on deck. Curveball, lofted foul, off of first. Brazile is there, and that will retire the side. But the Portland Sea Dogs score a run without the benefit of a hit. A couple of walks, stolen bases, sacrifice fly. And the score is 2-1 after 1 from Hadlock Field.
Ball game now tied at 9 as Damon stands in. The 2-2. Damon turns on it, sends it to right. Down towards the corner. That is up and in. It's good! Oh my goodness. Johnny Damon, a walk-off home run. The Red Sox come all the way back and win it 10-9. His teammates will wait for him at the plate. Unbelievable. The Red Sox have done it again tonight.
April, the biggest month of the year on Nesson. Fenway's the place to be this season, but if you can't be there, be here. Your home at home for Red Sox baseball. The Bruins finish off the regular season and begin their quest for the Cup on Nesson. Minor League Baseball returns with Paw Sox and Portland Sea Dogs coverage. Spring skiing's in season on Nesson with Dan Egan's Wild World of Winter. It's the biggest month of the year on Nesson. And if you can't be there, be here.
Back at Headlock Field here on Nesson. Delighted to have you with us to watch the AA affiliate of the Boston Red Sox. And first baseman Justin Headley knocks in the first home run of the season. It wasn't a home run, but it was a home run at home on a sacrifice fly.
There you go. Little situational hitting there. Sun starting to set here. Be interesting to see now if as the players get warmed up, it's going to get a little colder. The wind is still blowing out.
Wait a second. What was that mascot that we saw? I know that we have Slugger, right?
Slugger, yeah.
This is new to the whole thing is new to us. You know, this used to be the Florida Marlins. Now that the Red Sox have to learn about. What was that creature we saw? What's that, Toots?
That is a bear.
No, what is it?
A bear. Slugger the bear.
No.
Where?
Look on the screen.
That one? Oh, jeez, I have no idea. The trash monster.
Trash monster. See, that's pretty creative. Rodney Nye, the third baseman, the hitter. Takes the pitch from Junior Herndon for a strike. Quickly, it's 0-2. Down and in, 1-2. Herndon seems very deliberate, Tukes, in his motion. Very methodical.
He is a little bit, as he gets over the balance point.
Into center field again. A ball is center field. What does that tell us when every ball is hit to center? Does that mean they're right on it?
No, it means that their approach could be up the middle the other way, which, if that's indeed what it is, they're doing a good job of it. But Junior Herndon, you know, he's a strong kid. He's got strong legs. He does 1,000 sit-ups a day. This guy.
Really?
His abs are almost like yours. But I told him if he did a little bit more work, Bob, then you guys would be right in the same line.
Toots, you're not supposed to tell people that you've seen my abs. But we've been working together too much already.
He's a strong kid, and as a pitcher, you need a lower body strength, abdominal strength.
Mike Jacobs into the gap in left center field, and that's trouble. Rolls to the wall. He'll dig his way into second base with a double.
Well, up the middle the other way, you were talking about their approach. That was a good approach right there by Jacobs. Fastball away, hits the gap in left field. A bad pitch right there. Take your chances on that pitch out of the zone. A good piece of hitting by Jacobs.
Line down the left field line. That's in for a hit, and that will score a run. Basak into second base with a double. Back-to-back doubles, and the Binghamton Mets lead at 3-1.
Well, coming into the game, Bobby, Binghamton was not exactly tearing up the ball offensively. They were struggling at the plate. They have a lot of talent on this team. They have four. They're probably the top prospects are at the top of the order. And the lower part of the order right now is continuing to drive the ball. It looks like Herndon should start to mix in a couple more off-speed pitches early in the count. One of those recognize, as Mike Griffin, the pitching coach in Pawtucket, says, recognize and adjust. See what the hitter's doing, recognize what's going on, make the adjustment. Throwing a lot of fastballs early in the game.
Marvin Seeley, the hitter. The number 9 hitter, the left fielder for the Mets. Almost with those Chris Sabo type glasses there at the plate.
Chris Sabo, there's a name for you. That might be the guy in the trash bin outfit. He'd do that job, wouldn't he?
You weren't a Sabo fan? Time called just before Herndon delivered the pitch.
No, but I mean, he just, you know, he looked like a pack rat trash man. He probably wouldn't mind doing that. Those big glasses, never shaved.
Pitch catches the outside corner. 2-1.
Best pitch he's thrown all night right there, Bobby. That ball had some life to it, down in the zone and command. He's throwing a lot of strikes in 21 pitches, 22 pitches, 18 of those strikes.
You know, sometimes you can say that the purpose of the game is to throw strikes, but if you're around the zone too often, oh boy, he would have had the play in front of him, but decided to go the sure way at first base.
Well, base running mistake that turns out to be okay. You're always taught that as a runner on second, ball hit, and the ball's right behind. It's actually hit behind him, but it was hit hard enough to where the shortstop, Castro, would have had a play on on Basak if he had thrown to third. Basak actually anticipated the throw and stopped to try to get in the rundown.
But with 2 outs, there's not much difference anyway. Be it second or be it third. Back to the top of the order we go. Jeff Duncan had a hit his first time up, scored the first run of the ball game. Ball and a strike.
The Mets feel that Jeff Duncan's probably going to be their outfielder of the future. The Mets are high on him. He was an all Illinois hockey player in high school, which shows his athleticism. I think you're not a big hockey fan, but I think hockey is, so I had to give him a little bit of ink.
I'm a big hockey fan. I can't wait for the Bruins tomorrow night on Nesson. Game 4, they're going to have this big comeback.
Yeah, they've been playing well.
Win 4 straight.
Yeah, Brodeur's been tough. Brodeur's certainly been tough.
And talk about the Mets. Speaking of an outfielder of the future, that's been a problem for the New York Mets. Trying to get some stability on that team and in that outfield.
Well, there again, there's a situation where the Mets have not had a lot of homegrown talent. They're trying to fill the roster with some free agents and older players, and it just hasn't worked out with them. And they're trying to develop from within. And this guy right here, they see being at that level.
The 3-2 pitch. Spoiled back into the seats.
They like him as a base running threat in that he can steal bases. His success at the lower levels was second to none. He has had some trouble here, however, because he's starting to realize that speed alone just doesn't do it. You need to learn the hitters, learn the count.
Little blooper, short left field. T. Brown is there for the final out of the inning, and that will retire the side. But the Mets pick up another run, and after 1.5, they lead the Sea Dogs 3-1.
Wednesday, Sox Devil Rays coverage at 5:30 on Nesson.
They struck him out. Very gone. Oh, boy, big hit by Murray. He'll dive and make the catch. Right foul and score! Bruins score! The Red Sox win. Unbelievable. They struck him out. Get out of here. The Red Sox have done it again tonight. 3-1, the Mets lead the Sea Dogs. You know, one of the new members of the Boston Red Sox, Kevin Millar, has some history right here in Portland. He recently talked about his time here in Maine.
Unbelievable. It was really a fan-oriented type town. It was, you know, it's probably a small version of here at Fenway in Boston with the fans. I mean, first of all, the seats are, you know, within 5 feet of the players. You know, there's no foul territory. We have a great ownership up there with Daniel Burke. And, I mean, I had a tremendous time. I even went back there for my second year in '97. So I loved it. It's a great atmosphere, and it's good baseball.
It certainly is, and he is honored here now as a member of the Boston Red Sox, former Sea Dog to make it to the big leagues.
Nearly won the Triple Crown here one year in Portland.
The Fenway crowd just getting to know him, and they already have fallen in love with what he brings to the table. First pitch swinging is the catcher, Andy Dominique, and he rolls one to third for the first out of the second.
Dahmer got hit on the wrist yesterday in the game in Trenton, and it's a little sore today, but he's back in the lineup.
Duke's one of my pet peeves. Pitcher struggling with command of the strike zone, and you come up and you swing at the first pitch. In your first at bat, you haven't seen a pitch yet the whole night. You have a pitcher that's struggling. you let him throw one pitch and get one out.
Well, I think it's a statement well said, young man, because you'd think that your approach as a hitter would be to work this guy a little bit, particularly leading off the inning. But as a hitter, you know, what's to say the flip side of that is, you know, this guy's been wild. He's going to try to throw a strike. I'm going to jump on the first strike I see. Didn't find the hole.
Tanane Brown takes the first 2 pitches for a ball, and third pitch is in for a strike.
You know, that's one of the things that the Red Sox are trying to implement. You know, they talk about on-base percentage, but that doesn't mean that you can't swing at the first pitch. They want the hitters to learn what their zones are.
But isn't one of the key components of that whole philosophy? I know that one of the things that the organization has done is they give everybody the Ted Williams book, The Science of Hitting. The 2-2 pitch is into right center field. Backing up is your second baseman, Daniel Garcia. He hauls it in for the out. But isn't one of the key components of that is to don't swing at a pitch that you have not seen yet? And so that basically tells you that that's one of Ted Williams'
Ted's philosophy, but I don't know if that's been carried over to the new realm of hitting theories here. I think what they're trying to say is identify what your hot spots are. Where on that plate, where in that zone do you feel that you can hit the ball best? And if your pitch is there, first pitch, if that pitch is in that zone, that hot spot, go for it.
First pitch swinging is Dustin Brazile.
Maybe that was his hot spot.
Brazile stands in at 267, a home run and 5 driven in. It's hard to have a hot spot on a cold night like this. Popped it up, back to second base. Garcia a few steps back, has it for the final out. So Joey Cole settles down, has a 1-2-3 inning. We have played 2 in Portland, Maine here on NESN. It's 3-1. The Mets have the lead.
I bank at Citizens Bank because their money market account has done 50% better than most money market mutual funds during the past 2 years. 50% better. I mean, that's really incredible. That's a lot. I feel safe having my money there. Plus, there's a branch right next to Ben & Jerry's.
Did you catch Sports Plus Thursday night? It's Sports Plus a whole lot of this.
Pedro feels a sense of entitlement. He thinks he's the best pitcher in the game.
You know, these other guys, Schilling, Randy Johnson, they do it.
Yeah, but yeah, he dominates.
Well, when you baby him with 199 innings, 6 innings, you know. Yeah, he's dominated so far, and he hasn't won because he's come out of both games, 6 and 7 innings.
It's Sports Plus a whole lot more. Thursday nights live on NESN, presented by Sam Adams.
Top of the third inning in Portland, Maine. It's 3-1. The Mets have the lead. I'd like to remind you that our next Red Sox game tomorrow night will be carried by UPN 38. Boston Bruins on NESN. So UPN 38 will have the ball game within Boston. Now, if you live outside of Boston, you'll want to log on to boston.com/sports to check for your channel in your local area. And again, when we say outside of Boston, we mean the Boston television market. By now, you're probably figuring it out. So within the Boston television market, the Red Sox game tomorrow night will be on UPN 38. Outside of the Boston television market, it will be on an alternate channel. So log on to boston.com/sports. And as always, before the ball game, we will have the Boston Globe pregame report on NESN. And we go into our third inning of work here in Portland, Maine. Junior Herndon on the hill to face Daniel Garcia, Craig Brazile, and Ron Acuna. Garcia swings to the first pitch and misses. You know, Tukes, as a pitcher, I would imagine you like it when those guys are swinging at the first pitch.
Absolutely, because you know what? There's chances are that they're not going to get a hit on that pitch. I pitched in illustration. I kept track of that statistic for 2 years, in 92 and 93 as a member of the Cardinals. In 1992, I pitched 233 innings, faced 825 hitters. Of those 825 hitters, only 44 guys got a hit on the first pitch.
Wow.
Okay? Of 825, and it was like 120 first pitch outs. And if I got ahead in the strike, if I got ahead in the count 0-1, I got 78% of the hitters out. So that's been Maddox's success.
0-2 pitch dumped into right field for a hit. So Herndon gets ahead on Garcia, and Garcia sends it the other way for a hit.
Well, part of having pitching success is pitching smart when you're ahead in the count. This ball right here is not where he wants it. Up down the middle of the plate. Not sure what it looks like they were trying to go down and away on that, which is a good spot, but can't miss there.
Doesn't seem like Herndon really has the gas to put that ball by a hitter up in that area.
No, it takes a little bit more velocity than what Junior's got right now, but it also, you know, you have to, the opportunity for the hitter, he's protecting with 2 strikes. He's going to expand his strike zone. So you get him to chase at that ball, and, you know, if it's a little bit higher, you get him to swing by it. It wasn't high enough.
Brazile, the hitter. Down to third. Could be 2. Hit softly to second for 1. And oh, what a takeout slide by Garcia as Carlos Leon is upended in a big way.
Wow. I'd like to see that happen so quickly. It was a good feed from Euclid to Leon. I wonder if
it was such a softly hit ball, Tukes. Didn't give him a lot of time. The runner was right in on him.
Well, I tell you what, it's an aggressive play. Get the ball on the inside of the bag. The base runner goes to the inside following him. Clipped his side there. I don't know if that's a late slide or not. Footwork around the bag coming in like that. I don't know if the throw brought him inside the bag or not. I mean, that's the big key here. You see him approach the bag. His left foot, he kind of got, his timing was off on that play where he had to almost take 2 steps, and it carried him more toward the third base side. You saw his first step with the left foot, and that's just from not having done this. They haven't been able to take infield ground balls and do this, so that's a timing issue, I think. Again, that's been affected by the weather.
I don't think he'd turn 2 because the ball was so softly hit to third, but the runner was right in on him. Again, maybe another chance. To second for 1. This time he'll just hold the bag like a first baseman, say enough is enough. I'll get the out. We're satisfied. Ron Acuna out on the fielder's choice. Actually, Acuna's on first base. Brazile now out on the fielder's choice.
Another opportunity here. You see him, his leg is sore. That's where the timing of that, he got to the bag as the ball was being delivered there. Sometimes second, you know, you can come in on that, get on the first base side of the bag, catch the ball, and come across with the left foot getting out of the way of the runner, using the base as a block.
DeShane skies one into center field. Owens back. He has it for the final out of the inning. So the runs, a hit, 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the third. It's 3-1 Mets.
Stay tuned after every Red Sox game.
Hi, I'm John Scherer, CEO and founder of Video Professor. Well, I'm the one that makes computer learning quick and easy with these CD-ROM lessons from Video Professor. I'm so confident that my product will work for you that I'm going to send you any one of our $60 lessons absolutely free. If you're serious about learning to run the computer once and for all, try my product.
To get your free computer learning CD, you must call now. Call 1-800-680-7980.
I'm Ronnie Deutsch. I have settled IRS tax bills for only $20. $20.
Ronnie was able to help us settle this debt for only $20.
Saved me $34,000.
Saved me $10,000.
When she says that she can settle this for pennies on the dollar, she absolutely means it.
If you wait, you can lose your chance to settle for $20.
Call the law offices of Ronnie Deutsch at 1-800-895-9922 for a free and confidential tax analysis. Call 1-800-895-9922.
Back on a chilly night in Portland, Maine. Bob Rogers, Bob Tewksbury, delighted to have you with us. And I'll tell you what, Ron Johnson, manager of the Portland Sea Dogs, just delighted to have baseball tonight. But I'll tell you what, these Sea Dogs players also very happy to play for this guy. He's a lot of fun, and that's the approach he takes with his team.
And we started playing this game when we were kids because it was fun. And, you know, you can take it to a different level. I know they're getting paid. I know they have aspirations of getting to the top, and there is pressure. But the bottom line is it's a sanctuary. From 7 o'clock on, this is a sanctuary. There's no phones. There's no mail. Nobody tells you what you do. You just play, you know. And to me, I want them to have that type of feeling when they go out there because I've worked jobs before. This is not working.
And you know what? The players appreciate that, I would think, at the younger levels because he's got to teach these guys, but he also just has to get them ready for the daily grind of playing baseball.
RJ is a beautiful thing. He is just a character. I was out with the Sox as they stretched today, and he had another story. But yesterday, they said that Montalbano was struggling a little bit, had a couple guys on, and RJ sprints out of the mound. Well, I don't know if he can sprint, but as fast as he comes out of the mound quick at a fast pace, goes out to the mound, gets to the top of the hill, puts both hands on Montalbano's shoulders and looks him straight in the eye and says, how about a throw here, a little pickoff at second. Turns around and runs away, and Montalbano's left on the mound going, what just happened right there? What's he doing? He keeps guys loose.
And I guess Montalbano actually laughed on the mound, and the next pitch, I think, was a double play ball, gets out of the inning. Owens bounces one to third, first out of the inning. Number 9 hitter Jeremy Owens retired 5-3.
You got to laugh. You know, when I was in Columbus, Dave LaRoche was my pitching coach, and I was struggling one time, and he put on a batting helmet and ran out to the mound to talk to me. Tooks, I know you're doing okay, but I thought I might want to put one of these on the way out here. It's a little dangerous out here right now. So you got to laugh.
All you pitchers and everybody always wants to know, what does the catcher say when he comes out? What does the pitching coach say? And sometimes, and we've all seen Bull Durham and all those baseball movies where they talk about their woman or whatever they're going to talk about. But sometimes that kind of stuff does happen because it just gets you, you know, sometimes pitchers get so wound up, you need to get them relaxed out there.
And the only way that you can do that is to change the focus.
Popped him up, short right field. Acuna in. Very nonchalant catch,
nonchalant catch. Been there, done that, I guess. Wait till he drops one behind a big league pitcher.
We will have a pinch hitter here. Apparently, Leon is too hurt to continue. Here's the catch out in right field. Here we go. Little Andrew Jones action.
I got it. There's a guy that's got, John Stearns was saying it's a 5-tool player right there. Hits for power, runs, can throw, hits for average.
Raul Nieves will be the pinch hitter. So Leon shaking up on that play. Won't be able to continue. I would think on a cold night like this, that kind of a, you know, you get bumped and bruised around the bag, it's that much worse.
I think you're right.
Quickly 2 outs, and quickly now Joey Cole has settled down for the Mets. This game started, he walked Nelson Castro on 4 pitches, walked the number 2 hitter. But suddenly he has retired now 6 in a row, 7 in a row, 8 in a row. How about that, Tooks? I can count.
2 walks, still don't have a hit yet. Sea Dogs are hitless.
So Raul Nieves will stay into the game and play second base for the Sea Dogs. Here's the play again at second base, Tooks, and he got upended pretty good.
Jeff Duncan goes in really hard. He finds him. He tracks him going the other way. It's one of those plays that you made the comment on. Perhaps an option would have been to take the throw behind the bag and use the bag as a barrier.
Another 1-2-3 inning. Second straight for Joey Cole. We go to the top of the 4th. It's 3-1.
The world is constantly changing. My world.
My world.
My world. News.
The arts. Sports.
In my own backyard.
But there's one place I keep ahead of the curve.
I wake up to the Boston Globe.
The Globe.
The Globe.
The Globe.
Call 1-800-467-4455 today for home delivery of the Sunday Globe. Call now and get 50% off for 12 weeks.
The stories I want with one call. One deal.
One deal.
One deal.
1-800-467-4455 for news, entertainment, travel, real estate, and award-winning sports coverage every weekend. All delivered to you for 50% off.
I get the whole scene.
The inside scoop.
I get home delivery of the Globe.
One paper. One call.
One deal.
1-800-467-4455 to get the Sunday Globe delivered to your home at 50% off. Call today.
Welcome back, 3-1. The Portland Sea Dogs in the early hole here at home on their home opener. First home game is AA affiliate of the Boston Red Sox. Hey, Nesson drops the puck again tomorrow night for Game 4 as the Bruins face the New Jersey Devils and Stanley Cup playoff action at the Fleet Center. Coverage begins at 6:30 with the Boston Globe pregame report right here on Nesson. What do you think, Tukes? Big comeback?
Well, it's been done before, I'm sure, but they got their work cut out for them. The Devils are certainly playing tough. The Bees have played terrific. They just can't seem to quite get over that hump and put one in the net past Brodeur. He's terrific.
That's certainly not the most exciting brand of hockey that the New Jersey Devils play.
Boring. It definitely is. But they're getting wins and losses. But you're right, Bobby. It's just pretty boring hockey. Gotta like the Mighty Ducks up 2-0 on the Red Wings.
All right, enough hockey talk. Enough hockey talk. Time out. Back to baseball.
Well, we didn't know what he was doing down there. You may as well
I can tell you what he was doing. He was fixing the radar gun.
The radar gun. Oh, so what you're saying is I don't know anything about radar guns.
The youth said it, not me. We had our fill of hockey talk.
All right. Let's get back to the game. Rodney Nye.
Rodney Nye, Mike Jacobs, Chris Basak, the hitters for the Binghamton Mets in the fourth against Junior Herndon. Now, it is a chilly night here in Portland, Maine, but the weather forecast for the next several days, not only up here, but especially where we're from, Tukes. Well, you're in New Hampshire, so you don't count, but down in the real world of Boston, it's going to be like 70 degrees tomorrow at Fenway Park. We can't wait for that.
Oh, it's going to be like a summer day down there. It'll be wonderful.
Bouncer up the middle. Takes a tough hop. Castro stays with it and then bounces one to first. And the ball goes into the Sea Dogs dugout. So Nye will take second base.
Castro did a great job of reacting to that bad hop. But he did not do a good job of making a throw to first. Kind of comes down a little bit on his arm. Side arm. When you throw like that, the ball's going to sink. And when the ball sinks, it's hard to catch. And that probably got Justin right off the heel. Justin Headley at first. I'm sure that doesn't feel too good right now.
No, and I'll tell you, that ball is in no man's land for Justin Headley at first base. You know, you either want that hop that's well out in front, you can time it, or that short hop, you can scoop it. But that's a tough one to take. Down to second base, it'll get the runner to third. 1 out. So Mike Jacobs retired on the first pitch.
Again, good job of situational hitting by the Mets. You never know coming into this game, albeit they've only played 4 and 7 games respectively. But the Sea Dogs were leading the league in hitting, and the Binghamton Mets were last, and it's been totally reversed thus far.
See how Johnson wants to play this. He'll have the infield, and Castro at short is a couple of steps back off the grass.
Give him a little bit more range. He's not quite in. He's kind of like halfway. I think a ball there he can make a play on at home, but still gives him enough range to go left or right, versus if he was all the way in, he'd really limit his range.
Basak doubled his first time up. Drove in a run. 3 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Binghamton Mets. 1 run, no hits, 2 errors for the Portland Sea Dogs. Back-to-back walks to start the game for the Sea Dogs. Help them score their run.
I love pitching with the infield in, Bobby, because it made me think the manager has confidence in me to get a ground ball and keep that guy at third base. And it brought my intensity up a level. Definitely gives you a boost.
Well, let's see if it helps Junior Herndon. Popped up, back of the plate. Not much foul territory behind the plate, and that is back into the seats. Not much foul territory here at all.
No, particularly down the corners by the bags at first and third. A little bit behind home plate. It's not too bad, but as the field widens down the lines, the spectators get a little closer, particularly on the left side, on the third base side.
Struck him out.
Nice job of pitching right there. There's a slider. You want a ground ball or a strikeout or a pop-up in the infield. And Herndon worked the count terrifically there. Gets the count to 2-2, and as a pitcher, there's still an open base. There's 2 open bases, so you don't have to give in to the hitter, make him hit your pitch. Herndon does that with a nice breaking ball out of the zone. Nice job.
Nasty pitch. Now the infield can move back with 2 outs. Gets Seeley out in front. It's 0-1. Seeley grounded to short his first time up. Quickly ahead, 0-2.
A little bit of rhythm going right now. It's a big strikeout, boosted him. Those 2 pitches were thrown very well. His tempo's increased a little bit. You notice his mounds, maybe his windup a little bit quicker paced.
Wastes 1 upstairs. It's 1-2.
What do you think of his socks? You like those high red socks?
I do. I do. I like to see the players show sock. I was told, very interesting that you bring that up. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Just misses inside 2-2.
I think he all wanted that one.
You know, we watched Manny during Fort Myers where they show the sock the whole time, right? And he gets to Fenway now, and he's got the pants now again down by his shoe tops. I was told he's getting fined every time he wears his uniform like that. And somebody told me it was, and this is somebody that it's in the know, they think it's like 10 grand a game that he wears it like that. But to Manny, you do it every game, right, for the whole season, it's only $162,000.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a second. No, that would be over. That would be $1 million,
yeah,
wouldn't it?
$1 million. Well,
I don't know.
You said you could add.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I got it wrong then. I did get. See, I'm a fountain of misinformation. It was $1,500 a game.
Oh, so now you're going to totally retract.
But still, that's a lot of money.
Or subtract.
That's a lot of money.
It is. I think that they should have regulations. The NFL has regulations on how to wear a uniform. That's
I don't know.
Consistent.
I don't know. I think a player should be able,
they
within reason.
Show some sock. I mean,
within reason.
Manny's got pajamas on.
As long as Manny hits, do you care?
No, I don't care how he looks.
The 3-2 pitch, he lost him.
But don't you think they're a little, I mean, they look comfortable. You might want to wear those to bed. They're, not like the old, remember how they used to have them painted on?
You're putting on an act here in the press box. You getting some laughs over here, too.
With no intent, but really.
I don't think you could take this to a comedy store, though. I don't think it's quite as funny as it's being made up.
I'm trying to do my job. Well, anyway, Manny can afford it. If he wants to wear the uniform and keeps hitting like he can wear it however he wants. How's that?
Manny hasn't really been hitting. He will. I want to try to keep the focus here tonight, but that's one thing about the Boston Red Sox that I think that has to be exciting for everybody is they're scoring all these runs and really, Manny hasn't hit like he's going to hit. Johnny Damon has the power, and he's been starting to come around as well, but it's going to be a devastating lineup.
They're going to score some runs, no question about that.
Junior Herndon ahead on the count, 0-1. Jeff Duncan is 1 for 2. He singled and scored in the first, flied to left in the second. Rodney Nye, the runner at third. He reached on an error. Marvin Seeley is over at first base. Draws the walk after falling behind in the count, 0-2. See if Stearns will send the base runner. Yes, he does. There he goes. Little blooper into short right field will score a run. And moving on the play, Seeley moves to third.
Aggressive base running. Stearns sending guys in motion. Herndon, and he made the great strike, got the great strikeout with 1 out and a guy on third. Walked the guy after being 0-2. See the jump right there. Base running wise, the pitcher, the count was indicative to a run. know, a running situation, the pitcher's job, if he'd have stopped or thrown to first at all, he'd have been out. And you just, when a situation like this is when the game starts speeding up on the pitchers, and you need to remember to take control of the game and do the little things. And holding the runners in that situation is a little thing.
Daniel Garcia, he's 2 for 2. Single and a double. Runners at the corners. 2 outs. Junior Herndon takes your advice, checks in at first base. I'll tell you, he's probably regretting walking Marvin Seeley. He was ahead on Seeley, 0-2, the number 9 hitter. And Seeley fouled off a couple of tough pitches, but then draws the walk. And you get back to the top of the order, and Duncan drives in the run. So with 2 outs, the Mets have scored their 4th run of the night. There goes the runner again. Grounded to short. Castro makes the play, and that will retire the side. So the error hurts the Portland Sea Dogs as Rodney Nye reaches on the error by Nelson Castro, and the Mets have scored their 4th run of the night. It's 4-1 as we go to the bottom of the 4th.
Hey, I'm a bartender, not a parent. Someone underage wants to drink? What do I care? I'm just trying to make the register ring, okay? If they're not drinking here, they're gonna go somewhere else. Who's it hurting anyhow? Can't they have some fun too?
Ignore underage drinking and you open up a way for them to drink. An average of 42 people under the age of 21 die every week in alcohol-related crashes. Say nothing, do nothing, stop nothing.
People know little about the cancer that killed more Americans than AIDS and breast cancer combined last year. This simple self-exam can tell you if you're at risk. Stretch your 2 hands in front of you. Then bring them back around and place them on your lower back. Now slide your hands down. If you feel 2 large bumps, you're at risk.
Get screened for colorectal cancer. Caught early, it's over 90% curable.
Hi, I'm John Scherer, CEO and founder of Video Professor. Well, I'm the one that makes computer learning quick and easy with these CD-ROM lessons from Video Professor. I'm so confident that my product will work for you that I'm going to send you any one of our $60 lessons absolutely free. If you're serious about learning to run the computer once and for all, try my product.
To get your free computer learning CD, you must call now. Call 1-800-680-7980.
Came out to me, said something, and Manny said something, and you're intimidated at first. You don't want to say anything to those guys, but then once they get to know you and talk to you, they'll come up to you. Like Manny came up and he's like, "Hey, good job," and it's way to swing the bat. And it's like they said, they're normal guys, and when you're down in the minor leagues, you don't get to see them. I mean, you get to see them in the game. Sometimes you go up to a game, but you really don't get to interact and be with them on a daily basis. Once you start
And at some point, the Red Sox expect that he'll be with them on a daily basis during the season.
They do. He's rated, Baseball America rated Kevin the number 3 prospect in the Sox organization. As I said, he went to the Fall League last year. He lost a little bit of weight.
Up the middle and threw it at center field for a hit.
Got himself in a little bit better shape than what he was when he signed. When he was in Lowell, he reached base 49 straight games. Wow. By a hit or a walk. Good approach there by Kevin. Keeps his hands inside the ball, hits the ball up the middle.
Well, Tooks, what makes him so effective in getting on base? I mean, you look at the high on-base percentage, just incredible.
Well, he's got an incredible eye. I mean, I throw batting practice, and he takes pitches on me, and I was like, what are you doing? Swing the bat. But, no, he's got a good eye. He's got a good idea at the plate. He's a bright kid, and knows how to play the game.
Justin Headley, the first baseman, has the only RBI of the night for the Sea Dogs. Sacrifice fly back in the first inning. The hit by Euclid was the first of the night for the Sea Dogs. Ball spilled foul. Quickly 0-2 from Joey Cole. Euclid Toogs gets on base, but once he gets on base, you don't really have to worry about him taking the next one.
He's a base-to-base guy. Generally, he's not going to be a threat to steal. Maybe the back end of a double steal.
Down the right field line, and that's going to be extra bases. Youkilis on his way to third base. Johnson still waving. He'll put the stop sign up. And the Portland Sea Dogs have runners on second and third with nobody out.
Another 0-2 hit right there and a breaking ball. He's been throwing it behind in the count, Joey Cole has. This time he decides to throw it ahead in the count. But he throws it down and into a lefty. Not a good spot. Justin, great balance, great swing. Double down the right field corner. Now you're in trouble.
Now you're going to, well, with a 3-run lead, they won't play the infield in at this point.
Yeah, this brings up a great situation, Bobby. As a hitter, what do you think now? If you're hitting, do you change your approach in this situation where you know you need to hit a fly ball or a ground ball? As a hitter, what do you think?
Well, because you know I was such a great hitter, I'll answer the question. Ground ball to short, that will get the run in. As Youkilis scores, Justin Sherrod grounds out 6-3. I think, Tooks, at that point, you just want to put the ball in play any place and take your chances, because almost everything's going to score a run at that point.
Right. And the focus is up the middle. It still remains up the middle. A lot of hitters have a tendency to think, well, if I need to hit a fly ball right here, you know, say if the infield was in, you need to hit a fly ball right there. They tend to drop that back shoulder to try to uppercut swing, which leads to some bad habits and not a lot of productivity. So whether the infield in and you need to hit a fly ball, the approach is the same as it is with the infield back. Hit the ball up the middle.
First pitch curveball from Joey Cole was a strike to Andy Dominique. That pitch is low. It's 1-1. Now the Sea Dogs can get back to within one. And ground ball, fly ball.
Well, here's that situation right here. Once again.
This is that philosophy. You get him on third base with one out, you've got to get him in.
Get him on, get him over, get him in. It's an interesting count right here. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Buckles his knees with a curveball.
Jelly-legged him. It's not fair. 2-2. That's some pitching right there. That 2-1 count right there. Hitters are batting .330 in general. This is from Major League Baseball last season. In that particular count, the advantage goes to the hitter tremendously.
And now it's a full count as Tanain Brown waits on deck. Catcher Andy Dominique trying to get the job done on the 3-2 pitch. He struck him out. Another breaking ball.
My guess is that Nick probably thought another curveball was coming there. He just couldn't hit it. He's got a good breaking ball.
Wow, yeah. Bottom fell out of that one.
That's a pretty good breaking ball right there. I think 3-2. He had to know that he was going to throw that again as much as he's been throwing it. But the depth on that, you saw the depth of the pitch, how it went from high to low. Some good rotation.
Bouncer to shortstop. That should retire the side, and it does. The Sea Dogs, though, get one back. And after 4 full, Binghamton leads Portland 4-2 on Nesson.
Wow, you're so lucky.
I know. Everything you hear is true. I never thought I'd feel so happy. I never thought I could feel so complete.
I want to feel complete.
Yeah.
May I?
Get the internet you've been expecting. Call 1-800-747-9428 and get 6 months of Earthlink dial-up for half price. You also get exclusive tools like Pop-Up Blocker that gets rid of virtually all unwanted pop-up ads. And Spaminator. It helps reduce junk email. Guess it's no wonder we recently ranked highest for customer satisfaction among dial-up internet service providers according to J.D. Power & Associates. Call 1-800-747-9428. Get 6 months of service for half price. Why wait? Move to Earthlink.
The catch. He struck him out, and that ball is gone.
Wednesday, Sox Devil Rays coverage at 5:30 on NESN.
Pretty sky over the city of Portland, Maine, and we're delighted tonight to have our first Double-A game of a Red Sox affiliate here on NESN. We're pleased to be joined by the team's president and general manager, Charlie Eschbach. And Charlie, I would imagine it's a big thrill to be part of the Red Sox family now.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this has been something that's been bigger than anyone can imagine here in Maine. It's been the topic of conversation from last year right on through the winter. Anywhere I went, that was the question.
And the fans here love baseball, but now that it's the Red Sox, they can watch these guys play Double-A, work their way up, and make it to Fenway.
Absolutely. It's a lot easier to follow them, even if it's from here to Pawtucket and then eventually to Boston. But everyone is really excited here in the state of Maine.
Craig Brazile, Ron Acuna, Pat DeShanes for the Mets this happening. And, you know, you made a lot of efforts to bring the Fenway field to Portland as well. You got the wall out there and left.
So what do you think? Did we do it?
It looks terrific, although Tukes and I want to sit above the monster now.
Seats next year up there, Charlie?
Well, yeah, people have said, well, when are the seats going in? And my answer to that is, well, not yet. You know.
Sky high and foul. Beautiful ballpark and great facility. Tukes and I were talking about just for the fans of New England who tonight, all throughout New England, get a chance to see Portland, Maine, and see the Sea Dogs. It's an easy ride, and I bet you this summer there'll be a lot of fans that have never made the trip that will want to come up here and see it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Portland has a lot of reasons to come up anyway, and when you can now come up and see the Red Sox farmhands playing here at Hadlock Field, it's that much more reason to come up here to the state of Maine and enjoy what we have to offer.
Craig Brazile starts the 5th inning for the Mets with a base hit against Junior Herndon.
Charlie, tell us a little bit about when Kevin Millar was here. How good was Kevin?
Kevin was very good his first year, and he was better than that his second. You know, he came into town as a non-prospect, pretty much, a utility guy the first year, ended up hitting .318 with 18 homers. They kept him here a second year because they still weren't sure he was a prospect, and he almost won the Triple Crown.
They realized he was a prospect at that point.
Yeah, he finally got their attention. He hit 340-something, hit 32 homers, and had 131 RBIs.
You know, Kevin had so many nice things to say about his time here in Portland, and about the team owner, too. Daniel Burke just says so many kind things about him as well.
Well, yeah, I mean, Dan's a great guy, and Kevin got to know him. We got to know Kevin, and like I said, he was here for 2 years, so he was a bit of a fixture when he was here.
Just out of the reach of Jeremy Owens. Craig Brazile wasn't sure if the ball would be caught, so he can only go to second base. First and second, nobody out.
Well, we've had a lot of great baseball players came through here. Charles Johnson, Edgar Renteria, Josh Beckett. But I think the one that was really near and dear to the hearts was Millar. One, for what he accomplished, and two, the way he plays the game.
And how he carries himself. So many of the fans already at Fenway enjoy the way he plays. And this is a good effort right here from Jeremy Owens.
Well, he plays the game the same way, Bobby. He plays hard. He plays hard every day. That one, I think he had in his glove, just came out. I think he had that ball, and he's looking at his glove thinking, how did that pop out of there? But Jeremy Owens plays the game hard and well. He's just going to learn a little bit more plate discipline, which is why he's here.
Brings up Pat DeShanes, strikeout victim in the first, fly to center in the third. I have to tip my cap, too, if I was wearing one, Charlie. I'm not wearing one tonight because, you know, you're on TV. You want to have good hair, which I don't have, but Tukes does. But we're digressing. I got to tip my cap, though, to the grounds crew, getting the field in shape after just this crazy winter and crazy spring of a winter.
Well, that's true. I mean, Ricky Anderson and his crew do a great job. They always have here at Hadlock Field.
Could be, should be, too. The ball kind of eats up the second baseman. And that's all they'll get at second as Raul Nieves, a replacement for Carlos Leon, just kind of got eaten up on that, Tukes.
Yeah, there was one of those, I think I'm cold type of plays where he really didn't move. He fielded the ball off to his, almost as a backhand when it really wasn't a backhand play. I think he could have side shuffled and gotten in a little bit better position on that, and then had an underhand side throw perhaps to Castro, but it's not the way it happened. And first and third.
Now to bring up third baseman Rodney Nye to face Junior Herndon. Yeah, the field actually was voted, I think, the best in the Eastern League back in 2000, so your grounds crew does do a terrific job. This year, though, they had their hands full this spring.
They do. We had a terrible winter, as you know. I mean, it was as cold as I can ever remember. Yet we were ready to play a week before opening day. And the sad thing was that come opening day, conditions turned bad, and that's why we're here opening day now.
Hey, let me give you a chance, because again, we're talking to all of New England, a chance. The Pawtucket Red Sox have such a great following down there, and so many people make the trip to McCoy Stadium, which is so beautiful, but a chance to tell all New Englanders how do they get tickets to come up here this summer and watch the Red Sox AA affiliate.
Well, there's a number of ways. You can call our ticket office, which is 207-879-9500, or you can order right off the internet. You know, actually in recent years we've been doing quite a bit of business that way, and that's portlandseadogs.com. And my advice is, I think it's going to be a very busy summer. We're selling tickets already for that, so if they want to come up to Portland, we would love to have them, but buy early.
And just like at Pawtucket, it's just so reasonable. I was looking at the prices coming in. It's for a family of 4 to go to a game. It's very reasonable. Into center field again, Jeremy Owens very busy tonight on his horse. It's over his head. It's going to score at least 1 run. It rattles around. It's going to score 2 on his way to third base. Rodney Nye is out at third. Well, 2 runs score, but the Sea Dogs execute the relay to perfection.
Indeed they do. Another ball to right center field. Jeremy, I think, had a beat on it. I'd like to talk to him after the game. I think that 2 of those balls that went over his head tonight, he's going to feel like he should have caught. And that one right there, again, he kind of comes in and then goes back. Just both of them, he's kind of almost overran. If he'd have taken a deeper route to begin with, he might have been able to catch both of those. And I think it's from not having played here. He doesn't know the background, the ball off the bat. There's a whole bunch of things that could come into play there. But you saw, again, his strong throwing arm to the cutoff man, or directly to the base, and the tag to get the runner out at third.
2 runs score in the play, so it's now 6-2, and that is.
See, Bob, what a lot of people don't realize is the first time our team has gotten on this field this year was today.
Right. Yeah, we made comment of that earlier. Yesterday was the first time they were on the field before the game for a pregame. So it's getting used to everything, and you know, it's the first day.
Tukes, you talk about development, and again, maybe he misread the ball, but then they come up with a good play to get the out at third.
Great tag by Euclid. Good slide by Nye as well. I'm not a big head-first slide type of guy here. Great tag and he tries to do the Ozzie Smith one-armed thing. Great play by Euclid. And I just want to make comment on that right there. Head-first slide, nothing good can happen from a head-first slide other than sliding back to first base on a pickup throw. And everyone talks about the play at third with Huckabee and Jeter. If Jeter hadn't slid head first, that never would have happened. And actually, it was Buddy Bailey, the Pawtucket manager, that made the comment to me that, you know, players today don't do a lot of hook sliding. They don't know how to slide with their feet and slide past the bag and make that play right there. And I think that's a valid point.
Well, clearly you don't slide head first into home plate, as we remember has happened in Red Sox history.
Correct.
But the whole Pete Rose likes to go head first into when he started it all.
And I think that, and Ricky Henderson, and yeah, but that's a handful of guys.
It looks like hustle though, right?
It
looks
does.
like hustle.
Yeah, it looks like hustle, and you know, it's banned in Little League, and rightfully so. And I just don't think anything good can happen from that.
This is Chris Basak now. Basak 1 for 2, struck out his last time up. Had an RBI double back in the second. I'm going to give Charlie just another chance because we got interrupted by the double and the play at third base, just about how reasonable it is for fans to come out here, a family of 4 to come out. What would you say it costs a family of 4 to come to a ball game here?
Well, I mean, our tickets range from $8 top ticket right down to $3 for kids and senior citizens. So you can park your car, you can come to a game, you can buy something to eat, and you're not spending $30 for the whole family.
And the food here is good, too.
Yeah, you know that,
the grill.
Don't you? You know that, don't you?
Boy, I do.
Tonight it's a cold night, but we're going to have warmer days ahead actually coming up. So
we'll be back up here this summer, Bobby, and you'll it's just fabulous. The green grass. The grass will green up.
It will, and you want warmer days? I think we have one tomorrow. It's supposed to be in the 70s.
It is indeed.
And the grass will be greener by game time tomorrow, I guarantee.
Well, it can't do anything but get greener, and it's going to start being that way all through New England.
I would imagine just being part of the Red Sox organization, and they're thrilled to have you, and it's going to work out well for both sides, I would imagine.
Oh, it will, and it's really great for the fans because beat that one out.
Took a big hop at second base on the Avis.
I was saying it's really great for the fans because for years you could be a Sea Dogs fan and a Red Sox fan, but now you can be one and the same, which makes it that much better.
Take a look at this again, Tukes.
Well, it's one of those balls that if you got to know the base runner when you're playing the field, and that surprises the ball didn't take. A ball like that being hit's going to take a funny spin once it hits the ground and come up. Raul was able to field that, but perhaps it's a ball that should have been caught in the air.
Well, it's interesting, Charlie, now that baseball fans, Red Sox fans, can watch the development basically right from the beginning now. They can watch the guys that will play short season at Lowell, at Single A. They watch your guys up here at Double A, and they can watch the Pawtucket Red Sox and then watch it all happen once they get to the big leagues.
Absolutely. It will be easy to follow. What we need to do is start a contest in Lowell. You get to pick 3 guys every year and see if they make it.
That's a very good idea. That's something for your webpage at PortlandSeaDogs.com. They check with the first base umpire, and yes, he did go.
That's a good site. I've pulled that up following the team as we prepared for this game and the other games that will be here, and it's a very good website.
Well, Chris Cameron and Todd Jamison on our staff do a wonderful job keeping that up to date.
Herndon ahead, 0-2. What will probably be his final inning. Popped up over toward the dugout. Youkilis makes the catch right by our camera, gets no help, but he hauls it in to retire the side. Charlie, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
The score at the end of 4 1/2, it's 6-2. The Mets have the lead.
Let me bounce this number off you.
At Quirk Chevrolet, save up to $10,000 on the longest-lasting, most dependable truck on the road, Chevy Silverado. All this and savings up to $10 grand only from the guy who wants you to wear the gold bow tie. Quirk Chevrolet gets you from 0 to 60 in record time with financing as low as 0% for up to 60 months on Maine's #1 selling truck. Up to $10,000 in savings, down to 0% financing. Think you can get a better deal than Quirk Chevrolet? Then you don't know Jack.
I try as best I can to stop underage drinking, but I can't do it alone. We bring these kids in and all they get is a slap on the wrist and then they're at it again. We need help from everyone, including parents and judges. Otherwise, we're all part of the problem. And we become just another tool to help them drink.
Since 1975, the enforcement of minimum drinking age laws has saved over 17,000 lives. Say nothing, do nothing, stop nothing.
Hey, I'm a bartender, not a parent. Someone underage wants to drink? What do I care? I'm just trying to make the register ring, okay? If they're not drinking here, they're gonna go somewhere else. Who's it hurting anyhow? Can't they have some fun too?
Ignore underage drinking and you open up a way for them to drink. An average of 42 people under the age of 21 die every week in alcohol-related crashes. Say nothing, do nothing, stop nothing.
Extra innings, New England's Red Sox post-game show. That means extra highlights, extra interviews, and extra analysis. This season, I'm joined by a new host of studio analysts, including the man next to me tonight, Bob Tewksbury, Dennis Eckersley, Sam Horn, and Jim Rice, also our analysts on WB Mason Extra Innings. Tukes, we've been having fun so far after Red Sox games, even when they lose. But it's more fun when they win.
Oh, it's a lot more fun. Yesterday was good. You guys were outside, and first time we've been out on the post game.
We're going to be out on Yawkey Way on Wednesday night for the Boston Globe pregame report, which should be fun to be out in the middle of all of that. And the other night we had Shea Hillenbrand up as our guest on WB Mason's
he was
Extra
good.
Innings.
He was really good. I'll be back in the saddle on Thursday.
I got to tell everybody at home, you really do. I thought that I wore my heart on my sleeve with this ball club. But, you know, we get to the 7th and 8th innings, and you, like, moan and groan when they're losing. You're like, oh, you know, you hate to see this team lose.
Well, you know, it's, you get connected to it. You get removed from it after being a former player, and then you reconnect. And, you know, you just know what they're going through out there, and everyone wants us to win.
Big breaking ball from Cole. In for a strike, 1-1.
Again, another breaking ball behind in the count. I think 90% of the time he's thrown one 2-1. In that case, he threw one 1-0.
Popped up on the infield. Rodney Nye has it for the first out of the inning. Well, Cole has done a nice job settling down after that rocky start. Kept the Sea Dogs hitters for the most part off balance. Just 2 hits, 2 runs on 2 hits for the Sea Dogs.
Well, you can see why they think the Mets think that Joe Cole is going to be somebody who perhaps can get to the big league level. He throws his breaking ball behind in the count. His fastball command, which got him in trouble in the first inning, has certainly been something that hasn't been consistent. Although since the first inning, he has, and you would probably point out that the Sea Dogs had some guys swing at the first pitch to probably get him off the hook. You're nodding your head yes.
Well, too, because I'm not really against swinging at the first pitch so much as I am against swinging at the first pitch the first time up. I just feel like if the hitter hasn't seen the ball yet, hasn't seen this pitcher tonight, how can they know where his release point is, where you see the ball from him? There's so many things that a hitter has to do, I would imagine. I've never been in a professional batter's box, so I don't know, but to me...
So what you're saying is that the leadoff hitter should take the first pitch of the game.
I do. I like to see the
Dwight Evans hit a home run.
I know he did. 1986 against the Mets. I mean, against the Mets, against the Tigers, against Jack Morris, right? I said, you think of 86, you have to think of the Mets, don't you?
You do. And speaking of Mets, there's a big one out on the mound right now, and locking him up with the breaking ball. He's got nice rotation.
Every rule is made to be broken, too. If you're going to hit a home run on the first pitch, I say go ahead and swing at the first pitch.
I think Ricky Henderson probably had some first pitch home runs leading off the game.
Well, he led off many games with home runs, and he did swing a lot of first pitches. Joey Cole has settled down. Those 2 walks were the first 2 batters he faced.
It was a little bit different breaking ball right there. That one was a little bit harder, a little bit sharper break. Castro chased that out of the strike zone.
Nelson Castro walked on 4 pitches to start the game. He flied to right back in the 3rd. Castro also has 2 stolen bases tonight and a run scored. Well, you said it yourself as a pitcher. You want those guys to be swinging at the first pitch. I was watching the game yesterday as we watched, as Dennis Eckersley and I were upstairs watching the Red Sox game, and Derek Lowe threw a pitch, and there was a ground ball out, and it was the first pitch, and Eck just turned to me and said, "That's a beautiful thing." First pitch, ground ball out. That's a beautiful thing.
It is, and truly, it truly is, and that's well said by Dennis. And you know what a. Here's a guy. I was thinking about that the other day. You know, we had the opening day ceremony, and Dennis and I, and we were up in the booth talking to Jim Palmer, and.
Yeah, you were all over Dennis.
Well, I was all over Dennis for complaining about how the 600 club changed the way the ball flew out over left field. And I said that, you know, you gave up some home runs, stop complaining about it. And then they showed a picture of Canseco hitting one to New Hampshire off of me, which was very humbling.
No, to Montreal.
But my whole point with this was that Dennis is a guy that won 100 games as a starter in the big leagues and saved 300 games, 200 wins as a starter.
197 wins as a starter and 390 saves.
Unbelievable. He's been in every possible situation you can be in.
One of the game's greats, no question. This is not being a very good night so far for the Portland Sea Dogs. They trail by 4, but still lots of baseball left to be played on NESN.
Extreme tunnels, extreme bridges, extreme buildings. The structures once deemed impossible come together to change your world in a new series from the Discovery Channel. Extreme Engineering, Wednesday. Speed from New York to Paris in less than 1 hour on an underwater train. If this commute seems incredible, think again, because your future is under construction now in the new series Extreme Engineering. Wednesday at 9 Eastern and Pacific. Get extreme on the Discovery Channel.
Ladies and gentlemen, we apologize again for the delay, but our gate is still not available. However, should we experience any excessive boredom here on the tarmac, disco balls will drop, and the sounds of Le Freak, C'est Chic will fill the cabin. Always be sure to get your groove thing on first before assisting others. Thank you for your patience.
Discover your inner spin-off responsibly.
Bob Rogers, Bob Tewksbury, delighted to have you with us tonight here on NESN, our inaugural coverage of the Portland Sea Dogs. 6 runs, 11 hits, no errors, 2 runs, 2 hits, 2 errors for the Sea Dogs, and a new pitcher now for Portland.
Brian Adams, a rock star, is up on the hill. Lefty was a 8th round pick of the Sox in 2000 June draft. Spent a little bit of time in Trenton last year. He's only pitched a couple of innings this year. Lefty, sinker, slider. Real good kid. Somebody that's very personable, friendly. getting a chance from the south side to make his name in middle relief. You know, the chance for the Red Sox to get a look at some lefties.
Hey, Tooks, Brian Adams, this pitcher here, he wasn't born in the summer of '69, was he?
I don't know. Well, you know what? Let's find that out. He was born.
Kidding.
No.
What?
October of '77.
Oh, that cuts like a knife.
Oh, God, you're bad.
I wouldn't even know the songs, though, to be honest with you, if these guys weren't telling me. So I can't take any credit. It's not exactly my music, Tooks.
No, it's not Barney.
It's not you, too.
The best of the Muppets.
Although he did do a duet with Brian Barbara Streisand. Oh, boy. Let's get back to baseball.
Yeah. You can't add, you can't sing, you can't talk.
Who, me? Just a bit inside. Top of the 6th inning. Jeff Duncan, Daniel Garcia, Craig Brazile. Duncan enjoying a fine night. He's 2 for 3. Singleton scored in the first, fly to left in the second. Singleton was stranded in the fourth. What do you know about Adams, Tooks?
Well, he's a lefty. He's, how's that? Is that astute awareness?
Euclid on the bunt. Nice. Oh, boy. I want to see that again.
He was safe. He can fly.
Very close play at first base.
Uke thought he had him. Let's take a look.
Out.
Wow.
Out.
Justin thought he had him.
Very close play, but Jeff Duncan uses his speed for an infield hit. Yeah, how can he see anyway, Tooks? Look at this outfit. Come on.
I think he just tried to hear the sound of the glove and the sound of the foot on the base, and then he went from there. Great play by Euclid. He got a lot on that throw. I didn't think that he had as much on it as he did. The throw was a little high, kind of like remember let's see, the World Series in '85 with the Cardinals and the Royals play at first base. The high throw is what deceived the umpire, and that ball right there, that throw was high.
Changed the World Series.
Yes, indeed.
Do you remember who the most valuable player of that World Series was?
Of the '85 World Series. Was it Buddy Biancalana?
You know, it may have been Buddy Biancalana. I was thinking that it was Brett Saberhagen. But I remember Buddy Biancalana was on all the talk shows afterwards.
Oh, what a great name.
Where is Buddy Biancalana these days? Got to keep an eye on Jeff Duncan over at first base. He has a couple of stolen bases. We just saw the speed down the line on the bunt.
Let's see if they get him to run here. Everyone's got the green light unless they're told that they cannot go.
Of course, a little tougher with the lefty Brian Adams on the hill.
But if you're a base stealer, you've got to figure that out. And what he needs to do is learn the pitchers, learn their moves, make them throw the ball over there, see what they can and can't do. Try to work on some timing.
Hasn't picked off. Let's see if they can get the out at second base. No, they won't. Well, Adams took so long in getting the ball to Headley at first, and once Headley got it out of his glove, Duncan just simply outran it.
Indeed he did. Bad throw to first. Justin had to come up, throw it over the runner's left side. The ball tails to the third base side of the bag. And, you know, it's one of the situation where the runner knows he's picked off, but you got to keep going, and that's what happens. You got to take two good throws to get him out.
I'm not sure a good throw was going to get him. Do you think, Tooks?
No way.
He had a little chopper to shortstop. Castro's only played at first base to record the out.
That's what John Stearns was talking about. Danny Garcia being the consummate team player, selfless. You see it again right there. He did it earlier, and he did it again right there. Hit the ball up the middle. That time the ball was hit slow enough, so as a base runner at second, going to third is a good play. Earlier in the game, there was an opportunity for a play to be made at third. That was not on a ball that was hit a little harder. So it's situational here.
Have the infield in with one out. And Craig Brazile, the hitter, who's 1 for 3. Singleton scored his last time up. Popped it up. Shallow center field. Jeremy Owens has it. The runner's coming. Here's a throw to the plate, and he is in safely. I'm going to throw it down to third. I thought to maybe appeal to see if he left early. Apparently not. Just to throw it around because there was an out. Very shallow in center field for Jeremy Owens. A throw just up the line a little bit. Allowed the run to score.
Had a chance to be real interesting because of the speed at third with Duncan and a strong arm by Owen. He makes a strong throw. It's just tails to the right. That throw's on the plate. I think we got a little collision. He's had a tough night tonight, Jeremy Owens.
Busy man out there, and it has not gone well for him.
No, it's been a tough night.
So Craig Brazile with the RBI. Brings up Ron Acuna, who's 1 for 3.
He's 4th in the league in hitting at this point, albeit only a few games at 480. Could have hit his last time up. Made a nonchalant catch in right.
See, Andrew Jones missed the ball like that last week for the Braves. 3-0 pitch in for a strike.
Brian's mostly a sinker slider type guy. He's got to really work on keeping the ball down in the strike zone. He's got some movement, not a lot of velocities, probably mid to upper 80s. His focus is down in the zone.
Ball 4. First walk issued by Brian Adams. And that will bring up the DH, Pat Deschaines. Deschaines, a strikeout victim in the first, flied to center in the third, bounced into a fielder's choice and scored in the 5th. The Mets have scored in every inning but the third. Again, they haven't picked off, and again, they're not going to get the out this time. Justin Headley just simply lost the ball in the exchange. Well, that time they would have had the out because Acuna was not as far down the line as Duncan.
No, he went on first move, and the first move was to first base. And Justin just dropped the ball on the relay. Couldn't get the ball out of his glove, or didn't get the ball out of his glove, and dropped it.
Foul back here and into the seats. This is the kind of night you don't want to catch a foul ball.
Well, there's more of an opportunity now. We had a nice crowd at the beginning of the game. It's getting a little chillier and a little bit later. Kids have school still.
It was a sellout tonight. This is the home opener for the Portland Sea Dogs, which was delayed because of snow 4 times.
Trenton came all the way up on the bus and didn't play a wink.
And all the way back.
All the way back. They were talking about in New Britain, the Red Sox pitchers were throwing in a concourse at the New Britain ballpark and next to the popcorn machine.
Have to do what you have to do. Flies to right field to end the inning, and that will retire the side. But again, the Mets have scored. They have scored in every inning except for the third. They lead at 7-2.
The Stanley Cup playoffs. It's the season after the season. And when you're playing best of, you better bring your best. The seasons have changed. Temperatures are rising. And for the Bruins and Devils, things are getting real hot, real fast. Tuesday, Game 4. Bruins-Devils coverage begins at 6:30 only on NESN.
The new ball game now tied at 9 as Damon stands in. The 2-2. Damon turns on it, sends it to right. Down towards the corner. That is up and in. It's good! Oh, my goodness. Johnny Damon, a walk-off home run. The Red Sox come all the way back and win it 10-9. His teammates will wait for him at the plate. Unbelievable. The Red Sox have done it again tonight.
Welcome back to Hadlock Field in Portland, Maine. They just had the lobster catch, and they didn't catch many lobsters over there. 7-2, the Sea Dogs trail it, but they'll put all the lobsters in the trap now. Hey, I want to remind you that tomorrow night, Boston Red Sox take on the Tampa Bay Devil Rays at Fenway Park. You can catch the game within the Boston television market on UPN 38. Now, outside of the Boston television market, to be able to watch the game on an alternate channel, you'll want to log on to boston.com/sports. And, of course, NESN has coverage of the Stanley Cup hockey game between the Boston Bruins and New Jersey Devils. So, again, the Red Sox game tomorrow night against the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, which begins at 6 o'clock, can be seen within the Boston television market on UPN 38. And outside of the Boston television market, you can log on to boston.com/sports. And I know people still trying to figure out, hey, am I within the Boston television market? If on Friday night you normally see the game on Channel 38, that means you live within the Boston television market. We're going to educate everybody. They're going to know the TV terms. It's actually called the Boston DMA.
The DMA. Huh.
On UPN.
There you go. Well, how about some RUNs?
They need some HITS. They only have 2 of each. 2 runs, 2 hits, 2 errors for the Portland Sea Dogs.
Not what Ron Johnson was hoping to put in front of the faithful Portland crowd in the home opener, but that could be a start.
Well, see? We just had to spell it out for him. Base hit. Just big wide turn, too, for Davis. And that will bring up Kevin Youkilis. Cincinnati, Ohio native.
He's a Bearcat.
Turned 24 on March 15th.
I got to say that when I first saw Kevin in Lowell, I wondered how he was going to hit as he moved up the levels because of how high his hands are and the movement that he has with his hands. See how high his bat is. The timing issue where he keeps his hands above the strike zone, he's able to get on top of the balls, and with his eye, he gets in favorable counts. I still think that, you know, as a pitcher, if I were to be pitching to Kevin, I would probably look to try to pound the ball in on him and see if he can adjust to the fastball, because I think he can stay on top of the fastballs up and get him to chase some breaking balls, but he's so selective that, you know, he can hit in his counts, and it certainly proved me wrong in the fact that I didn't think that with his hands as high as he has him starting that he would be able to do what he does.
Thinks that one for a strike. Well, he appeared in 12 games for the Boston Red Sox during spring training in Fort Myers. He went 1 for 12 in that time, and again, more than anything, just an opportunity to get his feet wet in the big league environment.
A lot of the members of the Sea Dogs team this year had the chance to play in a lot of spring training games. I think if people were watching, they saw Dominique, Sherrod.
12 guys.
In Atlanta when they made the trip before. I remember watching them on TV, and they played there. So yeah, 12 guys have played for the Red Sox during spring training games, and it's a great experience. When I was with the Yankees, I had a chance to do that, and I tell you, you really start to think that you can belong.
Down the right field line and foul.
Plus, they paid you then. They used to get a full day's meal money, full day's big league meal money. So instead of getting the $10 a day minor league, you all of a sudden you got bumped up to 45. It was like, yeah, man.
Wait, what is big league meal money these days?
Well, now it's 70 something, but when I broke in, it was 45. So it was a big payday to go from minor league camp to the big league camp, and they since have done away with that process. So
they should get rid of meal money altogether. Right? I mean, come on. Look at that ball's foul. Look at the salaries. They feed them in the clubhouse. They feed them on the plane. Mail money?
I don't make the rules.
You guys had it made.
Oh, yeah. Don Orza will take your call, or Gene Orza and Donald Fear will be taking your calls after the game, Mr. Rogers.
Actually, truth be told, correct me if I'm wrong, most players actually use their meal money to tip like the clubhouse guys and whatnot.
Correct.
I mean, they don't really keep the money for the most part. Back up the middle and knocked down at second base. Everybody's safe. Everybody got a piece of that one. Got a piece of Cole back up the middle. Then Daniel Garcia knocked it down, but no play at second base.
Good approach. Another ball up the middle. Euclid is able to get it up the middle. Nice play at second. He tried the backhanded flip with his glove. He just couldn't keep it in his glove long enough to make that flip, which would have been hard. Generally, that's going to be a high flip. The runner is going to be able to get into second before that. Now you're talking about the meal money as we have a conversation on the mound, and you know this could be a little bit of a timeout here to get the pitcher and the bullpen warmed up. But you know, a lot of times pitchers or players use that meal money for card games. They don't tell their wives that. Card games on the plane.
You better be careful. I was going to say, you better be careful talking about where the money goes. I was making everybody look good saying they give it away to the clubhouse kids.
Well, they do that too. They pay for expenses. Clubhouse dues on the road is, you know, $50, $60 a day. More, sometimes $100 a day.
Is it really that much?
It can be.
Wow. Here comes manager John Stearns to talk with Joey Cole, and the night is done for Mr. Cole, who pitched very well considering the night started with a pair of walks. He gave up 2 runs on 4 hits. He'll leave responsible for 2 through 5+ innings of work. And he will give way to Eric K-Mac. The K-Man is in. 7-2, although he spells it with a C. 7-2. We'll be back after this. Binghamton with the lead. We have a pitching change, and we'd like to tell you about the Boston Globe pregame report, because after every game in the Globe, you can preview it before the game on the Boston Globe pregame report. It's more than your average pregame show. Yours truly, alongside the likes of Bob Tewksbury and Dennis Eckersley, Jim Rice, and Sam Horn. We're also joined by a whole host of Boston Globe writers. 30 minutes before Red Sox and Bruins, right here on Nesson. And we do have a new pitcher. It's Eric K-Mac.
Eric has got some big league time. This will be his 3rd game, 4 innings, no walks, 4 strikeouts. He is a hard thrower, sinker thrower. He had an injury in 2001 that he is rehabbing from, and he is well again, and he's throwing the ball very well.
He inherits some trouble. Runners on first and second, nobody out. Justin Headley, the hitter, and that ball misses wide. I'm curious if it's always been Eric K-Mac, or when he decided he was going to be a pitcher, like could have been Kamak or Kamek, but then when he became a pitcher, they said K-Mac.
K-Mac.
People forget that Joe Theismann, that was his real way to pronounce it, until he wanted to become the Heisman Trophy candidate. That's when they said Joe Theismann.
No kidding.
I'm telling you.
I did not know that. Well, I'm not surprised, and Joe probably thought of it. I don't think Notre Dame thought of it. I think Joe probably thought of that.
Ball and a strike to Justin Headley. In the left field, hit well, going for the wall, but not well enough. Ball doesn't seem to carry on this cold night in Portland, Maine. First out of the 6th inning.
It'd be nice to see a little wall ball double right here.
Thought we might have had it there.
You're right, the ball is not carrying on this cold night. There's a changeup that K-Mac through Headley, and pretty good pitch right there. 1-1. Got him to hit it off the end of the bat. Good chance to get, good chance to get back in that game right here, in this game.
Down by 5. First and second, nobody out. Justin Sherrod, the hitter, 0 for 2. K-Mac paints the corner. I like the uniforms. Looks just like the Boston Red Sox.
Yep, very nice. They still have some of the old Marlin colored paraphernalia down in the gift shop. Great gift shop here too. All kinds of Red Sox stuff, and not only Sea Dogs but Boston Red Sox. It's a great organization and a great ballpark.
I would imagine they're going to sell a hat or two, don't you think?
Just a couple.
In the new colors. I know quite a few people actually that kind of a pastime for some people to collect like minor league hats from the different teams.
Yeah, they order them. They're coming up. That's a big part of the marketing with these teams, is to come up with creations like that.
You let that guy borrow your hat.
Yeah, there you go.
Make sure you get her back for your ride home. Up the middle, through into center field for a hit. Johnson will wave the runner around. He will score it at 7-3. Nieves scores the 3rd run of the night as Justin Sherrod delivers.
I think that's Justin's 2nd RBI tonight. He had a ground ball is short, driving in a run in the 4th inning. It's like a little bit of a breaking ball that left stayed up in the zone a little bit. Justin hits it hard.
He waits on that pitch nicely, Toops. Andy Dominique, the hitter, 0 for 2, struck out his last time up. Sea Dogs scored a single run in the 1st, a run in the 4th, and a run here in the 6th. They have runners on 1st and 2nd with just 1 out. Now Dominique doing the catching tonight. One of the top prospects actually injured right now.
Yeah, Shopik. I think it's pronounced Shopak.
Kelly Shopak?
Yeah, Shopak. He is a guy that they're very, very high on. Kelly is rated the #2 prospect by Baseball America. Catch and throw guy. They are really, in spring training, they talked about his leadership abilities and just on the field things that he did. He played in spring training just as a DH mostly, and he's trying to rehab from an arm surgery that he had, I think at the beginning of last year, end of last year. But he is somebody that they have plans for. You know, you talked about Euclid and third base in the Red Sox, and Shopik, you know, with the contracts of Veritek and Shea eventually, as he continues to be arbitration eligible, you know, they have to think long term as to how these places and how these positions going to be filled.
He walked him. And this is getting interesting here in the 6th inning for the Sea Dogs. The bases are loaded and only 1 out.
Four-time All-Star, now skipper, sitting in the dugout, thinking that K-Mac could certainly use a K right now.
John Stearns, the manager of the Binghamton Mets. And I think the Sea Dogs right now, the happiest people in the ballpark, that Mr. Cole is watching from the clubhouse. Or actually here in Portland, he's still watching from the dugout.
And that's, you're right, and that's probably a pitch count issue, Bobby, based on the cold in the beginning of the season. You know, ordinarily, they probably would have given him an opportunity to get through this inning. But because of the craziness of the spring, decided to make that move. He certainly did settle down, Mr. Cole did. And but Mr. K-Mac is behind in the count, and he is again right now.
He's struggling. Pitch is on the corner. They give it to him. 1-1. Tanane Brown is 0 for 2. Popped up, grounded out. Big swing and a miss. 1-2. Kevin Youkilis, the runner on third base. He's single. Justin Sherrod with the RBI single. He's at second base. Andy Dominique drew the walk. They are loaded up. A 1-2 pitch is outside.
Big pitch right here. 2-2. Bases loaded. Do you go 3-2? Do you expand the zone as a hitter? It's a big point in the game right here, Bobby.
Here's payoff pitch. Could be, should be 2. Takes a tough hop, stays down on him at second base. All they can get is the single out in the middle of the diamond. Looked like that ball was coming up, and it stayed down on him.
It did. It stayed down on, prevented the double play. They took the short out at second with Danny Garcia coming across the bag and then checking the runner at third.
Youkilis scores through the back door.
The big hop and then the little fast hop, and it handcuffed him. I wonder, it came off the bag, but he was there.
So it looked like it was coming up to him, and it stayed down.
And it came at him hard. Ground's a little hard. I bet the grass is not unthawed all the way.
Runners at the corners and 2 outs. For Dustin Brisson. Brown does not have a stolen base yet, but they check in on him over at first base.
He does not, and you know, that's one of the things coming into the season. In the last 4 years, his stolen base totals have gone down 25, 12 to 5, and he's been thrown out a lot. Wow. And I talked to RJ about that, Ron Johnson. They want him to be more aggressive on the bases.
Inside, and Brown had an idea to advance at first and thought better of it.
And the reason that they want him to do that is because it would increase his value. It would give him another tool. Here's a guy who's an outfielder. He's got decent speed. Doesn't have great speed. But if all of a sudden he can steal a base, he can help your club at the next level. So he needs to really work on it. It's his third year at AAA.
You would think it would go the other way, Bob. You would think that the stolen base numbers would go up as you get more experience.
Well, he was afraid to learn the game a little. But he was afraid to run, and he had some times where he lost his confidence and got thrown out.
Throw it away, and that's going to score a run. Well, the old fake to third, throw to first, faked off the first baseman.
And they say that play never works. Sure it does, even on your own team. That's a gift run. Now it's 7-5. Even the pitcher, I always hated that move. Bad throw by the pitcher. Pulls the first baseman down the line off the top of his glove and heads up base running by Sherrod.
And we have a ball game again, a crooked number here in the 6th inning. 3 runs in for Portland at 7-5.
Let's see if T. Brown runs right here. This would be a nice count. 2-1.
That move ever worked for you?
Never. I never had anybody on first and third.
You are too good.
I did a lot of backing up third, but we didn't have that move. I did the inside move with a man on second, but I hated the first and third move. You say, I thought that he may run there with a left-handed hitter in the box as well, making it a little bit more difficult for Jacobs to make the throw to second.
Good hitters count, 3-1. High and deep to right field, way back, and gone, a tall jack, and we're tied up in Portland, 7-5. Dustin Brisson hits a 2-run home run, and we're all even.
Well, how do you like me now, Joey Cole? Sorry about that, buddy. But Dustin Brisson hit a home run yesterday, drove in 4 runs. He actually hit the 1,000th home run in Sea Dogs history yesterday. And he gets a hold of this one to tie it up. Down and in again to a lefty. Nice swing. Let the swing put a good swing on it and let it take care of itself, and that he did.
5 runs home here in the bottom of the 6th inning. And the fans who are braving this cold weather are getting their money's worth tonight. The number 9 hitter, Jeremy Owens, 0 for 2. Struck out his last time up. He's in an 0-2 hole here.
You know, I used to say catch him in hits and see if we can catch him in runs. Well, they caught him in runs, and they're still trailing in hits, so I think that's overrated statement. Get the long ball, doesn't matter, does it?
Say that to me again.
If you catch him in hits, you catch him in runs. We had Binghamton had 12 hits. I believe that the Sea Dogs had 4 coming into this inning.
Fly ball center field. Jeff Duncan drifts back. He has it for the final out of the inning, but not before the Portland Sea Dogs have tied it up with 5 runs. It's 7-7 as we go to the 7th.
The world is constantly changing. My world.
My world.
My world. News.
The arts. Sports.
In my own backyard.
But there's one place I keep ahead of the curve.
I wake up to the Boston Globe.
The Globe.
The Globe.
The Globe.
Call 1-800-467-4455 today for home delivery of the Sunday Globe. Call now and get 50% off for 12 weeks.
The stories I want with one call. One deal.
One deal.
One deal.
1-800-467-4455 for news, entertainment, travel, real estate, and award-winning sports coverage every weekend. All delivered to you for 50% off.
I get the whole scene.
The inside scoop.
I get home delivery of the Globe.
One paper. One call.
One deal.
1-800-467-4455 to get the Sunday Globe delivered to your home at 50% off. Call today.
Tied up 7-7 here in Portland. Things changing dramatically. What an inning, Tukes.
Dropped a big crooked number on him then. You can see the pitch. Nice swing. And the reaction. Was it? Is it? Could it be?
It is.
It is. Oh, no. God, the starting pitcher's going to hate me now.
Eric Kamak came in relief of Joey Cole and serves it up. And we are a brand new ball game here in Portland.
There he is. You know, he has a tough job as a DH tonight, sitting in that dugout getting ready. They don't have the benefit of the tunnels that big league players do to run up and down, or a bike, or somewhere to go hit. You know, I suspect that he may have gone in a little bit to get ready. Dustin had, but he was ready when it counted.
Shortstop. And suddenly the Portland Sea Dogs have a little bounce in their step. Rodney Nye grounds out to short. Now, very interesting here, Tukes. Every inning that Portland has scored, the Mets have come back and scored the following inning. I know you've preached this several times already in some of our Red Sox broadcasts, how important it is for a pitcher to do his job following a big inning like that.
I was just thinking the same thing. The shutdown innings. After your team scores, it's vitally important to go out and shut the opposing team down, to get your team back in the dugout, to add on to that lead.
A little excuse me swing down to Youkilis at third. And quickly, 2 outs here in the top of the 7th.
And by doing that, you want to get the leadoff hitter out, which Brian Adams did. Now, momentum has shifted here at Hadlock Field. A lot of people are shifting in their seats. It's cold out there, Bob. They're starting to head out a little bit.
I'm feeling nice and relaxed now because Slugger just came in and gave us a little back rub.
Yeah.
Little massage action. And
he spent a little more time on you because I call him a bear.
It's a sea dog.
I know. Well, you asked me from far away. I'm getting older. I can't see how far away.
I did feel kind of bad when the people in the press box told us that it was, you know, get it, guys, sea dog, get it?
I got it.
It took a little time for us, didn't it? We're not the brightest guys in the world.
No.
It's a bear.
As you've made evident over and over tonight.
Chris Basak, the hitter. He's had a good night. 2 for 3. And double, single. Brian Adams into his second inning of work. Trying to make this a 1-2-3 inning.
Which would be the first?
First for the Mets.
1.
And he walks him on 4 pitches.
The old 2-out walk. That's not a good thing either. First 2 hitters out on, what, 3 pitches?
Well, you kind of made reference to the mentality that especially young pitchers have. Sometimes you feel like you get those first 2 outs of an inning, and you think you're there, and you're not there until you get number 3, until you're sitting in the dugout.
It's easy to have a letdown. We saw Junior Herndon did that perhaps in 1 inning where he struck out a guy with 1 out and then ended up walking a guy and ended up scoring some runs in that inning. I think that Bob Kipper's out to the mound now. We get the big Sox jacket. He's bundled up. They're telling Brian, look, you know, just stay back, get back into your delivery a little bit.
Bob Kipper, of course, the former Red Sox bullpen coach, staying with the organization. And speaking of the bullpen, we have bullpen action for the Sea Dogs.
Villegas. Oh, they're out there for a while. Kip's got a conversation going. Kip was on those good teams, the good Pirates teams in the early 90s with Bonds and Slike and Bonilla. Great pitching staff. They had the bullpen by committee theory during that time. Good left-handed pitcher, situational lefty.
It's funny, you know, Villegas, during the on the Sea Dogs media information sheet, they ask the players, you know, who's your favorite teammate, and he actually picks Brian Adams as his favorite teammate.
Wow.
Because of Brian Adams and his religious beliefs. I guess he's very spiritual with his teammates.
Brian is indeed.
And I gotta say, I was hoping Villegas would get in because I wanted to work this in too. One of the questions on the sheet is which major league team would you like to play for? And a lot of them are politically correct and say the Red Sox because they're in the Red Sox organization. And Felix says, and I'll quote, the one whom pay me. That's the old Jerry Maguire, show me the money.
Yeah, let's get down to the bottom line here.
It's great, too, because it's in their handwriting.
Yeah, these are nice little media information sheets that all the players filled out.
3-0, so right now Adams struggling to find the strike zone, and that is 8 consecutive pitches now out of the strike zone. And let's see if Villegas is ready to come into the ball game. Keep an eye on the dugout. See if Johnson will make a move.
I think they'll give him another chance to face this lefty.
I don't know. Jeff Duncan has been murder on the Sea Dogs tonight. Singleton scored in the first, fly to left in the second, singled in the fourth, and Singleton scored in the sixth. Brian Adams started this inning by recording 2 quick outs. Little flare into right field. On comes Sherrod. He's there for the final out, and that will retire the side. So a couple of walks don't hurt. It is stretch time in Portland, Maine, and we're tied at 7.
April, the biggest month of the year on Nesson. Fenway's the place to be this season, but if you can't be there, be here. Your home at home for Red Sox baseball. The Bruins finish off the regular season and begin their quest for the Cup on Nesson. Minor League Baseball returns with Paw Sox and Portland Sea Dogs coverage. Spring skiing's in season on Nesson with Dan Egan's Wild World of Winter. It's the biggest month of the year on Nesson. And if you can't be there, be here.
He'll lay it out and will make the catch. He struck him out. And that ball is gone. Unbelievable. Back-to-back strikeouts for Pedro. That
Wednesday. Sox Devil Rays coverage at 5:30 on NESN.
Stretch time in Portland, Maine. Bob Rogers, Bob Tewksbury. Delighted to have you with us tonight here on NESN, and hope you'll join us on Thursday night after the game on NESN for the Boston Globe Sports Plus. It's a live sports talk show plus a whole lot more. Hosted by the legendary Bob Lobel and a lineup of Globe sports writers delivering sports news, notes, commentary, and controversy. It's the Boston Globe Sports Plus Thursday night after the ball game on NESN. It's great to have Bob Lobel in the NESN family.
Yeah, and Bob's a good man. He's been around a long time. You can see the great, look at those items you can get at the gift shop in Portland.
You went down to the gift shop already and you got your sweater.
It was cold. I went down and got a nice V-neck sweater to put on and give a little business to the Sea Dogs.
No discount?
Well,
here's Eric K-Mac. Forget about your discount. Eric K-Mac's had a tough time, Bob.
He has indeed. Came in the game with the Mets up 7-2 and finished the inning. It was tied.
And he will face the top of the order, Nelson Castro, Raul Nieves, and Kevin Youkilis.
Not quite sure if we'll get. I just want to make note of this. Jeremy Owens, you know, they've kind of picked on him today. They've had some balls hit the center field. He's had an error. He's struck out, made a couple of dives that didn't come up the way he wanted, but he got a special gift today.
Well, probably more important than anything that happens here.
How about that? A picture and a letter from his brother Bill, who is a naval officer stationed in the Persian Gulf with our troops in the war against Iraq. So I think perhaps, you think Jeremy might be a little bit preoccupied?
I'm sure. I would have thought that he'd come out, though, and have a 4-for-4 day, lifting his spirits to hear from his brother in such dangerous territory. Castro skies one to left. Hauled in by Seeley. That's a nice story, though. Quickly one out here in the 7th. That'll bring up the second baseman, Raul Nieves, who came in as a replacement for Carlos Leon, who started the game and left after getting taken out at second base.
Wonder how Carlos is doing. You think he'll be listed as day-to-day?
They usually do, don't they?
Aren't we, as we said, aren't we all? K-Mac's throwing that fastball that they talked about before coming in. He's rehabbing that shoulder with good fastball, and he's overpowered the first hitter and thrown those two right by Raul.
Big breaking ball. So K-Mac, obviously strictly a reliever, works from the stretch with nobody on base, which is becoming more in vogue. You see most relievers now go that route. They don't even bother with a windup anymore.
Right. Matter of comfort and repetition. Where you want to pitch from a position that you do most of the time. And the relievers do that from the stretch most of the time. You know, starting pitchers actually throw, well, you know, starting pitchers actually throw more pitches from the stretch.
Absolutely.
Also.
That's right.
And so it's a matter of comfort, and because the leadoff, the first person you face in an inning as a reliever, if you're starting the inning, certainly you can pitch from the windup. But, you know, and that's what in warm-up situations for a starting pitcher, I threw more pitches from the stretch in my pregame warm-up and from the stretch during my between innings warm-up than I did from my windup, because that's something that you're going to do more of. But it's easy to throw strikes from the windup. Everything's slow, and you don't have to worry about the runner on first. And but it's a bad habit to get into.
Caught looking. So 2 outs here in the 7th.
And the reason that I say it's bad is because when you pitch from the stretch, if you don't practice it, and then you get a base runner on either base, then you have a chance that a good comeback sinker, ball on the inside part of the plate, came back in on him, locks him up.
Here's Kevin Youkilis, 2 for 3 tonight.
Quickly finish that thought. If you don't practice it on the side, then you do everything the same speed. Come up, go, come up, go, come up, go. And then when the runner's on, you come up, go, come up, go. They pick that up and they're off to the races. If you throw more from the stretch, you can practice varying your times, which you really need to do with a base threat on any base to change their looks. Ricky Henderson said the hardest part about stealing a base off of a pitcher is the pitcher who holds the ball and varies his time to the plate. And if you are stuck, as a lot of pitchers fall into the routine of throwing from the windup all the time, they never practice that. You can practice your game away from the game. Just got to think about it.
What else does a pitcher gain from pitching from a windup? So in other words, what does he lose from not pitching from the windup right now?
Some pitchers gain a little bit more velocity because they have a little bit more of a momentum, chance to have a little bit better finish. But you can see this basically, the pitcher, and whether you pitch from the windup or the stretch, you ultimately have to get to the same point, and that's the balance point. And the balance point is a point in which the pitcher is right there. When you lift the leg up and your weight is distributed over the rubber, and see, he doesn't really have a very good balance point.
Up the middle, throw into center field for a hit. Almost a carbon copy of what Youkilis did last time.
If we can see that replay again of the ISO on K-Mac, the balance point is a position over the rubber that you gather yourself as a pitcher before you come forward. Pitchers have a tendency for all of pitching to not get to that point. It's called rushing. As soon as he lifts up his leg, his body's going forward right there. There's no weight retention over the pitcher's rubber. His stride is long, and he's got a little recoil there. I'm not surprised he's had some arm injuries.
Rolls it to second, and that should retire the side, and it does. So we have played 7 full tonight in Portland, Maine at Hadlock Field, and we're tied up 7-7.
Extreme tunnels, extreme bridges, extreme buildings. The structures once deemed impossible come together to change your world in a new series from the Discovery Channel. Extreme Engineering, Wednesday. Speed from New York to Paris in less than 1 hour on an underwater train. If this commute seems incredible, think again, because your future is under construction now in the new series Extreme Engineering, Wednesday at 9 Eastern and Pacific. Get extreme on the Discovery Channel.
His mom was trying to talk him into renting the more traditional look. He, of course, was leaning the other way. After all, it was his prom, and it was Melinda. So instead of a bow tie, it was a button cover, and a vest instead of a cummerbund. As for Mom, we can only say this: it's not what he's wearing that you should be worried about.
Tuxedo packages for as little as $50.
You're gonna like the way you look. I guarantee it.
They struck him out. Very good. Oh, boy, big hit by Murray. He'll dive and make the catch. Right foul and score! Bruins score! Sox win. Unbelievable. They struck him out. Get out of here. The Red Sox have done it again tonight. Well, we have breaking news. We know who the starting goaltender will be for the Bruins in Game 4 tomorrow night. Slugger getting warmed up, and he'll be at the Fleet Center tomorrow night. There is hope for the Bees. We're tied at 7, and we have a new pitcher for the Sea Dogs.
The pitcher is Felix Villegas. Felix's second game this season. He's 4 strikeouts in 2 innings pitched. He's got good stuff. Fastball, slider, throws hard. Biggest thing with Felix is he's got to duplicate his windup. He's got to be consistent in that. He has a tendency to get out of sync, and part of the ability of any pitcher in consistency is having that delivery that you can do over and over and over again, and that's what he's going to work on.
24-year-old right-hander, makes his home in Puerto Rico. He was born in Chicago. He is entrusted with a tie ball game here in the 8th. He will face Daniel Garcia, Craig Brazile, and Ron Acuna. And that's going to be trouble into the gap in left center field. Garcia can run. He's into second base with a leadoff double. Welcome to the ball game, Mr. Villegas.
Swinging at the first pitch. Imagine, Mr. Rogers.
It works sometimes,
new pitcher.
doesn't it?
Yeah, not by your hitting theories. Good piece of hitting right here. This guy's a player. Fastball right down the middle. Hands inside. Pulled his hands in nicely. This kid's a player.
By the way, it's not my hitting theory, okay?
Well, that's one you were talking about.
Ted Williams.
It's one of my pet peeves. Is you don't swing
Ted Williams is the man. Don't argue with Ted.
I'm not going to argue with Ted.
You're arguing with Rogers instead, so that's a little easier. Craig Brazile, the hitter. Let's see if John Stearns wants to move the runner along, but he has his number 3 hitter up.
The only way that John wants him to move him along is to hit a ball into the outfield.
Pull the ball to the right side. Ground ball out will also get the job done. This guy's a foul back into the seats.
He will, but this guy, my hunch with him being in the 3rd spot is that he's looking to do a little bit more than that.
You know, managers sometimes get into a little bit of a, they're like, oh, I want a bunt. I know it's the right thing to do. We got to put the guy along, but my cleanup hitter's up.
Exactly.
And we saw that actually with the Red Sox game, the game in which Kevin Millar went deep. They had that exact situation. They get the leadoff guy on with a double, and their cleanup hitter was up. Not that their cleanup hitter really matters. I think it was
yes.
I'm trying to remember who the cleanup hitter was for Tampa that night. No, it wasn't. They're telling me
they have a cleanup hitter?
It wasn't RB Huff. Whoever it was, they let him swing away.
And
it was Travis Lee. And Travis Lee, they didn't have him bunt, and Travis Lee popped up, and the rest was history. The Red Sox ended up winning the game. Little pop-up on the infield, back of second base. Castro ranges out, so there you go. Right now, John Stearns is saying, I wish I had him bunt.
Should have bunted him.
But how many managers would bunt with your number 3 hitter? You wouldn't see Nomar up there bunting.
No. His job is to hit a ground ball to the right side. He's a left-handed hitter.
Good job by Villegas to get in on his hands a little bit and pop him up.
Yes, indeed. It's a tough situation. Lead-off double. You've got to keep that guy at second and not allow him to move up. Generally, you try to do that by throwing fastballs away to a left-hander so he hits the ball in front of the runner and thus holding him there. The fastball inside to a lefty is going to most times result in a ground ball to the right side, but he jammed him. Got the pop-up.
Little excuse me check swing by Ron Acuna. And Acuna tonight is 1 for 3. We've almost made it through my first ball game here at Headlock Field, and it is something really. They told me how nice it was, and it really is beautiful. And I'm watching, even on this cold night, how many kids are out here smiling and laughing and having a great time watching this ball game. So we're looking forward to it. We're going to have 5 games, including this one tonight here from Portland, and 5 games down in Pawtucket with your Pawtucket Red Sox. So a chance to see the Red Sox players of the future on Nesson over the course of this summer.
Pawtucket's got some players down there as well. Freddie Sanchez is down there. They've got some good arms.
Julio Zaletta had a couple of home runs the other night. I like the ball club that Theo Epstein has assembled in Pawtucket, which really gives the organization some depth now in case of injury, which they did not have last year.
Correct. Tom Davies had pitched 2 innings yesterday, 2 or 3, no hits, no runs, or I don't know if he didn't get any hit, no runs, 4 strikeouts. Pitching out of the bullpen. Almonte had a nice
I was going to say, you didn't see Almonte pitch, did you? Were you down there?
No, I didn't see him pitch, but he's done well. Yesterday, he threw the ball very well.
I was impressed with him in spring training, and he almost made the ball club. I mean, it really went down to the final week before you realized.
Well, him and Arroyo.
Yes. The final couple of spots went to Woodard and Brandon Lyon, and of course Brandon Lyon has been just such a great addition to the ball club to this point.
So you're right in your point, though. They have gotten a lot of players, some on the Rule 5 side, some with some free agent signings that have boosted the rosters at both Pawtucket and Portland.
In the center field, back goes Owens. He has it. They'll test his arm, and he'll make it into third base. So Garcia moves up. He's 90 feet away now with 2 outs. And there you go. If they had bunted, they would have had the run.
There you go. Yep. And if I hadn't thrown Jose Canseco that
we wouldn't have had
curveball,
that great piece of video the other day.
Ifs and buts, Bob. Come on.
Just finish it. Ifs and buts for candy and nuts, right?
Every day would be Christmas.
You know, well, you're just getting back to the point you made about those moves when you add players like Earl Snyder and Julio Zaleta and you pick up Del Monte and the pitchers that they pick up. They're not the most exciting moves for Red Sox fans during the hot stove season, but sometimes those are the big moves for a ball club when you get to June, July, when you need to fill the roster, when invariably guys get hurt.
Well, you need depth. You need depth with people with experience, and they have that and some arms down there, because you know inevitably that the roster at the major league level is going to change. The way that it breaks camp is not the way that it's going to be June 1 or July 12th or August 31st. Things happen, and if you have resources down within your organization, you don't have to go make a trade. You can bring somebody up, or there's a number of options that you have, and I think that the Sox and Theo have done a good job with that this offseason.
And also, I don't know if Red Sox fans realize this, but one of the other insurance policies that they recently picked up was behind the plate. Bill Hasselman back within the Red Sox organization. He's a catcher now for the Pawtucket Red Sox.
He got a double yesterday.
Yeah, and should anything happen to Jason Varitek or Doug Mirabelli, and obviously everybody hopes that it doesn't, but you know, we even saw that earlier with Mirabelli got hurt. Now you have an experienced big league catcher that if you had to bring him up, there you go.
Yeah. You need depth. You need depth all around, and then you need to develop your prospects, which, as we mentioned, they're here. Kevin Youkilis, Jorge De La Rosa, Anastasio Martinez, Charlie Weatherby, Kelly Shopik. They're all prospects right here in Portland.
I bet you this summer, too, here in Portland, and again, maybe going out on a limb a little bit, I bet you we'll see Hanley Ramirez up here, too.
I think that's probably a pretty good bet. He's the #1 rated prospect. This kid's got a lot of tools. He's young. He's got to mature, but skill-wise, I saw him play in the spring, and he was almost bored.
Yes,
because he's just that good.
I believe he's the 19th rated prospect in all of baseball, which is impressive, and that was impressive by Villegas as he gets the big strikeout here to win the top of the 8th. We go to the bottom of the 8th. The Sea Dogs are tied with the Mets at 7.
Did you catch Sports Plus Thursday night? It's Sports Plus a whole lot of this.
Pedro feels a sense of entitlement. He thinks he's the best pitcher in the game.
Yeah, these other guys, Schilling, Randy Johnson, they do it.
Yeah, but then he dominates.
Well, when you baby him with 199 innings, 6 innings, you know. Yeah, he's dominated so far, and he hasn't won because he's come out of both games, 6 and 7 innings.
It's Sports Plus a whole lot more. Thursday nights live on Nesson, presented by Sam Adams. Stay tuned after every Red Sox game on Nesson for extra highlights, extra interviews, and extra analysis on W.B. Mason's Extra Innings, New England's Red Sox postgame show, featuring Bob Rogers and a new lineup of studio analysts.
I'm back at Fenway. I'm closing games for the Sox.
W.B. Mason's Extra Innings, immediately following Red Sox baseball on Nesson. After the last inning, the action's just beginning.
Tied up at 7 in the bottom of the 8th inning. 7 runs, 13 hits, 1 error for Binghamton, and 7 runs, 7 hits, 2 errors for the Portland Sea Dogs. And the big blast of the ball game, Bob, it was the number 8 hitter, Dustin Bresson, going deep to tie it up.
Came back to the Red Sox. He was part of the Hermanson trade a couple of years ago and was released by the Cardinals, and he's back in a Red Sox uniform, happy to be here. And that must have felt sweet right there to tie the game.
That was part of a 5-run, 6th-inning explosion. And our game summary brought to you by Citizens Bank. Not your typical bank. And the 6th inning was not your typical inning. 5 runs to turn what was a 7-2 ball game into 7-7. And here we go now. Best kind of baseball now for the home team here in the bottom of the 8th of a tie game. You push one across and you get your 3 outs and you go home happy.
There you go. I tell you, Villegas pitched awesome after the leadoff double. struck out the last batter on a changeup that was tremendous. Great arm speed, fooled the hitter, swing and a miss. P.J. Bevis is the new pitcher for Binghamton.
Wow.
El Tiante Jr. How about that?
I was going to say almost a little Hideo Nomo-ish, too.
Wow. Let's get another look at this delivery.
Caught me off guard.
Pitching from the stretch again. RJ, move.
Yeah, a little Hideo Nomo. What do you think?
Well,
Hideo Nomo or El Tiante?
I got to see him again. I was watching the screen. And
even on the count, 1-1.
Fuck, he throws hard.
Justin Sherrod.
It's got to be tough for a righty on a righty. Tough to pick up the ball. There we go from the stretch again. All the way back, lean back, a little bit better balance point. A lot of body turn.
Ground ball. Nice play at short by Basak across the diamond. That's a big league play at short. Looked like that ball was ticketed for left field. Basak does a nice job.
Well, you can teach hands, you can teach, you can teach footwork and positioning, but you can't teach hands. Nice play.
It wasn't even close play either. Gets Justin Sherrod easily for the first out of the 8th.
That's a big out right there.
Here's your catcher, Andy Dominique. Yes, changes the complexion of the inning. That ball sneaks its way through. Now you get him on, get him over, get him in. Dominique is 0 for 2 tonight. Drew a walk his last time up during that big 6th inning.
Dahmer does a little bit of everything. He's a big guy, but he's behind the plate today. He's played first. Got some great hands. He can pick it around the bag. Just a great teammate, gamer, fun guy to have around. He was giving me some stuff before the game about a babble I had on the air the other night.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
And he's down quickly on strikes. What was the babble?
Oh, he couldn't. I was saying something with reference.
I was going to say, because there's so many to pick from.
I know. He couldn't pick out the one, you know. There must have only been one, but like just then, you know, hands versus, you know, whatever. But he's a good guy. We have fun. That's part of the locker room banter, you know, the getting on one another and getting on Eckersley and Eckersley getting on me. And
well, I'm getting tired of it.
Of not being picked on?
No, getting picked on. Tanane Brown, your hitter.
We haven't picked on you yet.
There are things going on that I'm not happy with. Big swing and a miss, 0-2.
Well, those two pitches right there in this inning, you can see why the Mets are high on this guy right here. P.J. Bevis.
Defensive swing by Brown.
He will probably turn into John Stern's closer for the summer here in Binghamton. Right now, there's no rolls down there. They're trying to just get some innings in and get some work done. But this will probably be the Mets closer for the summer.
Took something off. That ball driven deep to right center field. And that ball's going to get down. On his way to second base is Brown. He'll pull up with a double. And the Sea Dogs have the potential go-ahead run in scoring position with 2 outs.
T. Brown gets the ball up in the strike zone here. Drives it to the right center field gap. He led the Eastern League last year in triples. He's got some speed. He got a little hanging breaking ball. That's what you're supposed to do with hanging breaking balls, is hit them like that. Stays back and run.
Boy, he was blowing it past Brown.
Exactly.
And he takes something off, throws the breaking ball, and helps him out.
Had no chance on either of those 3 fastballs, one of which he fouled back but was really late on.
And here's the star of the game to this point, Dustin Brisson, who belted the game-tying 2-run home run back in the 6th.
You know, it's easy to second-guess a pitcher in that situation, Bob, because he's throwing the ball by him. But you know, the pitchers, they got to remember, the hitters will tell you what they cannot hit and what they can hit. But if they can't hit it, they can't hit it. There is no way T. Brown is going to catch up to that fastball, and you do him a favor by throwing the ball slower.
You help him out. He says, thank you very much. No balls and a strike. Ken goes back to the breaking ball. Bevis, the third pitcher of the night for the Mets. Joey Cole started, pitched well. Eric K-Mac came in, ran into trouble. Brazile is 1 for 3, but his one is a big one. A 2-out, 2-run home run in the 6th to cap the 5-run inning. A chance to drive in the go-ahead run here. It's 2-1. Tanane Brown stands at second following his 2-out double. The number 9 hitter, Jeremy Owens, stands on deck. The 2-1 into left field, back toward the wall, up against the wall and off the wall for a double to score the go-ahead run. Marvin Seeley backing up toward the wall, thought he had a beat on it, and it grabs some wall for the go-ahead double, and Dustin Brazile for the second time tonight comes up with a huge hit for the Sea Dogs, and it's 8-7.
Well, we wanted to see a ball off the wall, and we did. I didn't think it would be from a lefty, but indeed we do. Fastball up out over the plate. That ball was an easy one to hit to the other way. A wall ball double. Didn't know where he was.
He plays kind of like Chris Sabo too, doesn't he?
Boy, you know, it's interesting. Just before that pitch was thrown, the number 9 hitter's up. He's right-handed. You got a lefty that was in the box. First base is open. You're behind in the count. It's the 8th inning. It's a tie game. What are you going to do? You don't want to throw, you know, a situation. It was a bad fastball up in the zone, but that's where development happens, and that's where, if you look back at this inning, Bobby Ojeda, maybe go back and talk to PJ about the situation, because you've got to be able to apply that as you move up. Skill level doesn't change a lot between AA and the big leagues.
Well, hit into the gap in right center field. That could be trouble. On his horse is Duncan. That's up against the wall. It scores a run. Owens stops at second with a double, and it's 9-7. 2-out magic for the Portland Sea Dogs. 2 outs and nobody on, and they've scored twice.
Gap to gap here. Jeremy Owens, a nice piece of hitting. That's a big hit. That little extra insurance run going into the 9th. A little 2-out rally is right. Good piece of hitting right there. Fastball out and away. And Owens takes what Bevis gives him as far as a location and hits it where it was pitched.
Pitch to Castro's in for a strike. This has been an impressive home opener for the Portland Sea Dogs. I think John Stearns is sitting on the Mets bench saying, what has happened? His team looked like they were putting on an offensive show. 7 runs and 13 hits. They had a 7-2 lead, but 5 runs in the 6th and now 2 here in the 8th. And it's a completely different ball game. It's 9-7.
Just got a lot colder in that Mets dugout, I got to believe, since the 6th inning. I bet it was pretty toasty in there until the bottom of the 6th. And now it's a little bit chillier.
I would imagine, too, when that ball that Dustin Brazile hit to left field, Marvin Seeley dealing with that wall out there, it has to be a little daunting to come in here and face that, as Castro takes strike 3 to end the inning. But the Portland Sea Dogs, after 2 are out, score 2 runs to grab the lead, and they're 3 outs away from winning the home opener at Headlock Field. We'll be back on NESN for what could be the final inning.
I will tell you about my Get Out of Nebraska shirt. I was at a thrift store in Wayne, Nebraska, and I stumbled upon this incredibly gaudy orange striped shirt that I thought was hideous at the time. And I wore it out to the bar, and all my friends said, hey, man, if you wear that shirt, you're going to have to leave Nebraska. You can't wear that shirt here. It sort of just, you know, I don't know, it fueled me to get out of Nebraska and come to the big town here.
Bass. A taste for more.
On an all-new Monster Garage.
skateboard legend Tony Hawk and BMXer Rick Thorne drop by for the most extreme build yet, turning an RV into a mobile skate park.
55, you know, down a hill.
Are the crew's welding skills better than their skating? And what does Jesse think of Monster Air from the Monster Garage?
It's cool. I can dig the whole skate vibe.
Vert ramps to go on an all-new Monster Garage. Tonight at 8 Eastern and Pacific, only on the Discovery Channel.
A last call for the Binghamton Mets. It's 9-7 Portland. I'd like to remind you that this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Portland Sea Dogs and the National Association of Professional Baseball Leagues Incorporated, and is intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or the use of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Portland Sea Dogs, the National Association of Professional Baseball Leagues Incorporated, is strictly prohibited.
I was hoping you'd get through that in one breath, big guy.
So it means don't do it.
Don't do it. Well, what we want them to do is have a 1-2-3 inning right
See
here.
if this whole bullpen by committee works for the Sea Dogs.
See if Felix steps up to be the closer.
Felix Villegas has done a good job so far tonight. Gave up a leadoff double at the top of the 8th inning, then settled down nicely and retired the Mets in order. He will face Rodney Nye, Mike Jacobs, and Chris Basak.
Why? That's what you think out there. When you throw a pitch like that, good quality strike down and away.
That's in for a strike. Now with a 2-run lead, of course, Villegas can go right after the hitter until he gets somebody on base. Last thing he wants to do is issue a leadoff walk with a 2-run lead here in the 9th. Junior Herndon started, was relieved by Brian Adams. And Felix Villegas on now for Ron Johnson of the Sea Dogs.
I like how Felix slowed down right there. Stepped behind the mound, touched the rosin, regroup a little bit.
And he walks him. That is not good.
Maybe Felix likes to pitch with the first guy on.
Now Bob Kipper will come out to say, don't do that again.
You know what he's going to tell him? You know what? It is really cold right now. I've had this long coat on with this big Red Sox logo on for way too long. Will you hurry up already?
James Johnson is warming up now, the lefty. We also have a pinch runner into the ball game over at first base for the Mets as David Bacani comes in to run for Rodney Nye.
Now, this conversation's as much about getting the bullpen warm as anything else. Felix just had a terrific inning. He's throwing the ball well. I think he's trying to do a little too much after getting out of that last inning with a leadoff double.
A lot of looking around going by Bob Kipper, turning around, looking into the dugout, looking back to Ron Johnson, and maybe he's still, you might be exactly right. Yeah, he's calling on the
old delay tactic.
Ron Johnson's trying to get somebody's attention. There he goes. He's trying to get his right fielder's attention. Can't get it. Finally has it.
Now that's Buddha, the hitting coach, outfield coach. Coached in Taiwan. Was a batting coach in the Taiwan professional leagues last year, 2 years ago. Last year he was selling real estate in Hawaii.
Were you buying any?
I asked him if he had any good deals for me.
Mike Jacobs, the hitter. And again, the first pitch out of the zone. Jacobs represents the tying run. It's 9-7 Portland. Fouled straight back.
I think you can see a little bit of the inconsistency that I mentioned earlier about Villegas, and that repeating his delivery, the ability to repeat his delivery to throw balls down the strike zone hasn't happened in this inning. that's a great pitch for him. Good arm speed. Good motion.
That's a nasty pitch.
Good finish.
That's a nasty pitch.
I think that he should probably throw more of those. Oftentimes, pitchers will go to the breaking ball or the changeup to try to get a feel for the finish of their pitch, and that often helps them get their fastball command back. I'll tell you what, that changeup is so good right there. He could throw that again.
A ball and 2 strikes. Mike Jacobs. Chris Basak waits on deck.
Threw in right field for a hit. So the Mets have the tying runs aboard. And I can make a prediction here, Bob.
You're going to go out on a limb?
I think that Chris Basak will be bunting. Now, that doesn't take too much baseball knowledge to predict that, does it?
He definitely will be bunting. I think that Vegas did indeed throw another changeup. But on a 1-2 changeup, you got to throw that one in the dirt.
Well, let's see it.
It's another changeup. Not a bad pitch. It's down. But he just repeated it. When you repeat pitches like that, ahead in the count, second one's going to be out of the strike zone. That would have been a great 2-1 changeup, but not a very good 1-2 changeup.
How often do you see a pitcher throw 3 changeups in a row?
Not a lot.
Yeah, so eventually Jacob says you're not going to sneak that by me. Let's see what kind of bunt coverage the Sea Dogs have here. And that bunt coverage may work if you, well, you'd like to see him pop up a bunt in this situation.
Well, it looks like they didn't have anything on. It was straight. Youkilis is going to come in and crash. They're going to the run at second doesn't mean anything, so they're not going to play for the out at third. They just need an out. You need outs right now.
Yeah, but if you're John Stearns, little fake bunt and send both the runners. No, it's fake bunt and just have them steal. Nobody's going to cover third. Get a big lead over first.
Well, that's where that's the cat and mouse. Youkilis has got to hurry back. He's got to take a peek. Is he bunting? No. Where's the runner? Because there's no way the shortstop, even on a wheel play, is going to beat the runner to third base. So that's one of those plays where third baseman's got to be aware of everything around him.
And he shows bunt. It's a good one. It will get the job done. And then, no, they got the out at first base. Oh, Sea Dogs caught a break. Youkilis with a high throw over to second base. Raul Nieves does a nice job in coming down in the bag.
Indeed, he does. That was a bang-bang play right there that went the Sea Dogs' way. Youkilis fields a bunt. Just kind of didn't really finish that throw. A little sidearm, and
we may not have a second baseman left when this game's over.
No.
Could have called Jerry Remy out of retirement to come play here, maybe.
He hasn't been up here before.
I was surprised Jerry on his off day didn't get here to watch this ball game with us. And that will be the night for Felix Villegas. So we have a pitching change in Portland, Maine. The Sea Dogs trying to hang on to win their home opener. It's 9-7. We'll be back to tell you about the new pitcher right after this.
Did you catch Sports Plus Thursday night? It's Sports Plus a whole lot of this.
Pedro feels a sense of entitlement. He thinks he's the best pitcher in the game.
You know, these other guys, Schilling, Randy Johnson, they do it.
Yeah, but then he dominates.
Well, when you baby him with 199 innings, 6 innings, you know. Yeah, he's dominated so far, and he hasn't won because he's come out of both games, 6 and 7 innings.
It's Sports Plus a whole lot more. Thursday nights live on Nesson, presented by Sam Adams. The Stanley Cup Playoffs. It's the season after the season. And when you're playing best of, you better bring your best. The seasons have changed. Temperatures are rising. And for the Bruins and Devils, things are getting real hot, real fast. Tuesday, Game 4. Bruins-Devils coverage begins at 6:30 only on Nesson.
9-7, but anxious moments here in the 9th inning. We can tell that this team is related to the Boston Red Sox now because the bullpen having a little bit of trouble here, Tukes. The runners on second and third with one out, the tying runs in scoring position.
They are. And we have relief. James Johnson is in. He throws the ball well. Lefty. Going to pitch out of the bullpen all year. Could become kind of the end of the game type of pitcher.
This is his second game of the season.
Excuse me. He's got a real good curve over the top. Fastball curveballs from San Diego. He's a big Padres fan. He was talking about the '96 season with me in spring training and how much fun we had out in San Diego. And good kid.
And the scheduled hitter is the left fielder Marvin Seeley. Check that. Yeah, Marvin Seeley is the scheduled hitter, but John Stearns will go to his bench. And he will call on Kirk Ashe. So the wheels are turning here late in the ball game at Hadlock Field. James Johnson, the new pitcher, to face the pinch hitter.
James is a strikeout. He's over a strikeout an inning in his minor league career. Over 400 strikeouts and 300 some odd innings. And that's what they could use here as a strikeout.
Base hit could tie the ball game up. 7 runs and 14 hits for the Mets tonight. Ashe with a home run on this young season. Takes that pitch inside.
And coming into the game, Bob, Binghamton was 9 for 45 with runners in scoring position. That's a 200 clip. It's been a little bit better than that tonight with 14 hits and 7 runs.
Mm. 2-1.
Okay, no big deal. Open base here. And a lefty, Duncan, on deck. Be smart.
Don't want to put the go-ahead run on base, though. 2-1. 3-1.
Now, you're not thinking about it being the go-ahead run. What you don't want to do is give in to the hitter and throw him a pitch that he can do to drive in those 2 out there. So you worry about that guy down the line. You're trying to make a good pitch right there. And even now, you know, make your pitch.
Fouls it back. It's 3-2. Top of the order, waits on deck. It's Jeff Duncan. David Bacani, the runner at third. Mike Jacobs is at second. Bacani was the pinch runner for Rodney Nye. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. Fouls it back.
That was a good rip at that one. A foul straight back on a high fastball. If you have any confidence in the hook right now, maybe a good time to spin it up there.
Dangerous hitter on deck is Jeff Duncan, who's had a good night tonight. 3 hits.
They're going to go talk about this selection right here. Yeah, but, you know, even with that, it's lefty on lefty. Open base, bases would be loaded, but there's a force at any base then as well. A sac fly, which would be the second out, would score the 8th run. Still doesn't matter. So be smart right here.
Here's the 3-2 pitch. He struck him out. Catches him looking. And Ashe doesn't like the call, but the Sea Dogs do, and so does the crowd. 2 outs.
Well, there's that strikeout we were talking about. John Stearns didn't think that's a strike. I think that's a heck of a pitch. Whatever Dominique said when they went out there. That's a good low strike right there.
Good job by Dominique to frame that pitch. There's John Stearns saying, this has not been our night.
He can't hit that pitch. Come on. Well, good low strike. You got to give the benefit of the doubt to the pitcher in those cases.
Now here's Jeff Duncan. 3 hits tonight, 3 for 5. He scored a couple of runs, has an RBI.
What do you think of JJ so far, Bob?
Looks good.
Looks good to me. You can see why he's got to strike out an inning.
It'll look good if he can retire Mr. Duncan. Pitch. pitch is fouled, and it's 1-2. The Mets down to their final strike. Those are words that Red Sox fans don't like to hear.
I just was thinking the same thing. I didn't want to go there. Oh, well, let's go right here to Portland.
Just don't roll the ground ball down to first base. A ball and 2 strikes. He struck him out, and that's the ball game. And the Portland Sea Dogs have won their home opener in their first game as an affiliate of the Boston Red Sox, 9-7. An exciting finish as James Johnson comes on to strike out pinch hitter Kirk Ashe and the leadoff man Jeff Duncan. What a night of baseball, Tukes.
Ooh, take a big sigh of relief. See JJ's pitch right there. That's the breaking ball. No chance for Duncan, and you can see the excitement behind the plate and on the mound as the Sea Dogs have first win at home. First game at home.
Well, what a great way for the Sea Dogs to introduce themselves to the Red Sox family by winning their home opener in this fashion. Come from behind fashion. They needed a 5-run inning in the 6th to tie it up, and then a gutty inning in the 8th to score a couple of runs with 2 outs, and then anxious moments with the tying runs aboard with just 1 out, and you're thinking, oh, here's the bullpen, but it all works out nicely.
That it did. You know, you talk about Dustin Brazile. What a big night. 2 out, 2-run homer in the 5th, and then the double in the 8th to put the Sea Dogs ahead. The first wall ball here at Hadlock Field. What a comeback.
What a terrific night and a beautiful place to see a ball game, and just a great time for us here on NESN to bring everybody the ball game. And Tukes, we'll see you again for Thursday night for Red Sox baseball. So once again, your final score from Hadlock Field in Portland, Maine, 9-7. The Sea Dogs win their home opener. And once again, we'd like to remind you that tomorrow night you can watch the Red Sox game on UPN 38 within the Boston television market. Outside of Boston, check boston.com/sports for your local channel. Thanks for watching, everybody. This has been an exclusive presentation of NESN, your ticket to New England sports. Good night, everybody.
The last time mortgage rates